The two teams that he used to represent, the late great Trevor Francis, are now making their way out onto the pitch here at Loftus Road, led by the referee Josh Smith. QPR in 20th, Birmingham City in 21st. So, tense, nervous headache? That's probably not because of any sort of Good Friday hangover. That's because you probably support an EFL side that have got so much to worry about or be concerned about or be hopeful for going into the run-in. We are down to the last 7 or 8 games for most teams in the Championship League 1 and League 2. And for these two sides, Queen's Park Rangers and Birmingham City, it's all about looking nervously over their shoulder at the relegation trapdoor beneath them. QPR are only a point clear of the bottom 3. Birmingham are only out of the bottom 3 on goal difference this afternoon here at the Loft in front of a sellout crowd. Could well be absolutely pivotal to these two teams' respective seasons. Queen's Park Rangers make 2 changes from the team that got a very good 0-0 draw up at Sunderland before the international break. Sam Field and Michael Frey, I recall Jack Coolback and Lyndon Dykes dropped to the bench. So Asmir Begovic in goal, Jimmy Dunn, Steve Cook, Jake Clark, Salter and Kenneth Powell in a back 4. Sam Field and Isaac Hayden holding in midfield. Chris Willock, Lucas Anderson and Ilias Chair in behind Michael Frey in attack. For Birmingham City, 3 changes for Gary Rowett's first side in his second spell in charge, and a change of system. Looks to be a 3-4-3 for the Blues this afternoon, as Sanderson, Tyler Roberts and Bielik are recalled. Out go James, Miyoshi and Sunjic. It's John Ruddy in goal. A back 3 of Emmanuel Iwu, Dion Sanderson and Lee Buchanan. Ethan Laird, Pike Seung-ho, Christian Bielik and Cody Drammer are 4 across midfield, right to left. Juninho Bakuna and Tyler Roberts either side of Jay Stansfield in attack. Looking at those lineups, Alvin Martin, as the photos are taken pre-match and Asmir Begovic and Dion Sanderson exchange handshakes. Asmir Begovic at this level as a goalkeeper, it's fantastic for QPR to have that as a base from which to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they have been keeping it tight. It's such an important position, isn't it? As a leader, as a communicator. I think today as well, I think they'll be expected to attack Birmingham, which sometimes can be a difficult one as a back 4. You tend to think, okay, well, we've got the ball, we're going to have the majority of the ball, but your concentration at times is questioned because you are dominant. It's people like Begovic behind that back line who are constantly keeping you on your toes.
Ready for the off on Talksport 2 for our second of 4 exclusive Championship commentaries. Blackburn Ipswich to come at 5:30. Watford against Leeds at 8. But now it's the battle at the bottom, with QPR in their blue and white hoop shirts, white shorts and socks. They're attacking the school end to our right hand side. Myself and Alvin Martin sat right at the back of the Battier stand, the main stand here at Loftus Road. The stand bowls opposite us. Birmingham City in their change strip of all black are heading for the loft end to our left in this first half. Already today, Bristol City have beaten Leicester City by a 1-0, and Millwall and West Brom have just finished 1 apiece at the Den in the Championship. Tyler Roberts brings the ball down on the halfway line for Birmingham, tries to feed it forward to Stansfield, but that's tidied up by Isaac Hayden, who will then tuck it across to the left-hand side. And Kenneth Powell, the Dutch left-back, brings the ball up to the halfway line. He's then faced up by Ethan Laird, goes out to the left-hand side, and Ilias Chair has a run at Emmanuel Ayew down that left-hand side, but Ayew slides in and puts it out of play for a QPR throw. Minute gone on Talksport 2, it's 0-0.
Yeah, as you mentioned it, Danter, it's a blustery afternoon here at Loftus Road, and you have to be a little careful in how much you want to play in terms of the dangerous situations around the edge of the box. I get that QPR want to build up slowly and pass the ball out, but there are times we just got to play a little bit longer in these conditions. Lucas Anderson, the long-haired attacking midfielder and recent arrival at Loftus Road, plays a neat 1-2 and gets away down the left-hand side for QPR, level with the edge of the area. Bielik's gone with him, a little back heel to try and get players into the game, but Birmingham managed to get it half clear, but it's won back by Hayden. Strong run down the left-hand side up against Ethan Laird.
rolls it back to Powell. Powell will send the cross in over the head of Frey. Sanderson heads it up in the air, brought down well on the right hand side by Chris Willock. Willock will lay it off to Jimmy Dunn. Willock again, level the area right hand side for QPR as they attack the school end. Played in field. Sam Field's going to go for goal. The shot is deflected and makes the save much easier for John Ruddy in the Birmingham goal. 0-0. Alvin Martin.
Yeah, very confident start to the game in from QPR. You can see there, they've got a run of games behind them, a consistency of performance, and they're passing the ball with a lot more confidence.
I'll keep you in touch with goals going in elsewhere in the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Championship. There's home games at Cardiff, Huddersfield, Hull, Norwich, Preston, Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton in the 3 o'clocks. Here is Pike Seung-ho working the ball into the centre circle. Bakuna making a strong run forward for Birmingham. Up to the edge of the area, had a strike on goal. Brilliant challenge by Jimmy Dunn to slide in and stop the shot getting anywhere past the 18-yard line. Swung out to the left-hand side. Pike Seung-ho works it down the left-hand side of the box for Tyler Roberts. Shifts it onto his right. Then goes for goal, and it's only just over the crossbar. Lovely whip on the shot from Tyler Roberts, but couldn't keep it down. Begovic may well have had it covered. It's a goal kick to Queen's Park Rangers, 0-0.
That went too far away, I tell you. We were right behind it, weren't we? Roberts was excellent there. He's on the left-hand side, cuts inside the penalty area, shapes to hit it with his left, checks it back onto his right, and then bends it with the inside of his right boot. It just started to rise a little, unfortunately for him and Birmingham at the crucial stage, but it's certainly the right idea, and a little warning shot across the bows. I think he's obviously set his team up to be hard to beat, Gary Rowett, but he's also sent them out at the right times to attack and commit people forward as well.
It's a Birmingham City player down just shy of the halfway line. I think it might be, it's not Christian Bielik who's down. Just looking to see who it is. Meantime, no goals anywhere else.
Buchanan?
It is Buchanan who's down, indeed. The one of the 3 centre-halves in this revamped Birmingham City system of 3-4-3. They've been used to a 4-3-1, which is very much similar to what QPR are playing here today. First goal's gone in the 3 o'clocks. It's come at Adams Park, and Portsmouth, the League One leaders, are 1-0 up at Wickham. Colby Bishop, they're 12 unbeaten, John Mousinho's Portsmouth. 5 points clear of second at the start of play, and they are a goal to the good at Adams Park. Buchanan flat on his back receiving treatment.
Yeah, I think he got a little knock in the... It was an aerial duel, and he caught an elbow, I think. There was nothing malicious in it, but he certainly made contact, and he stayed down. I thought he'd rocked his ankle on landing as well, but it looks like the head injury is the problem for him.
That's what he's being treated for. A reminder that at the start of play, 5 points between 16th and 23rd. Millwall have got a point against West Bromwich Albion, so they've moved on to 44, having played 39 games, which is the same as most teams around them. Blackburn and Watford, who haven't played yet, are on 38, but of course they're live on Talksport 2 later against Ipswich and Leeds respectively. So Millwall are now 4 points clear of Huddersfield, who are third bottom. Huddersfield underway this afternoon against Coventry City. I'll give you details on any goals that go in anywhere around the country. Maidenhead lead Aldershot in the National League. Lee Buchanan's just being led to this near touchline. He'll be back on after a 30-second delay before he can retake the field. So Birmingham temporarily down to 10 men as the ball's rolled back to John Ruddy.
You mentioned Millwall there. That's Neil Harris, who's gone in and had an immediate impact, has got to be said as well, and that's exactly what Gary Rowett's got to do here.
Gary Rowett came in 2014 after Birmingham had lost 8-0 at home to Bournemouth in the Championship. His first game in charge was a 0-0 draw at Wolves. He ended up winning 6 of his first 10 games in charge to get Birmingham away from trouble in that 2014-15 season. Buchanan is back on the field. We're back to the full complement of 11 against 11, and it will be a throw for Queen's Park Rangers for Kenneth Powell. Throws it down the line for Frey, but Frey sees Laird step in front of him. The ball scoops high into the air, headed away by Clark Salter, who briefly had a loan spell at Birmingham City when he was on Chelsea's books a few years ago. Here's Pike Seung-ho finding Bakuna, right-hand side, darts down the right-hand side of the box, pulls it back just behind Stansfield, half cleared by Queen's Park Rangers. In slides Roberts trying to win it back, tackles flying in, but away come QPR on the counter-attack with Lucas Anderson into the centre circle. Option to his right is Willett, but he underhit the pass and Birmingham won it back. Here's Cody Drammer on halfway, plays it out to the left-hand side. Tyler Roberts will keep it in play on this near side. Darts in field, Tyler Roberts. Looks for an option. Just inside him is the South Korean Pike Seung-ho. Gives it to Roberts again. And he'll go for goal. It'll deflect up in the air off the head of Steve Cook, and Cook hooks it clear. And it goes back to John Ruddy in the Birmingham goal. Wickham had just equalised against Portsmouth. That's 1-1 at Adams Park. Matt Butcher. And Exeter, they are 1-0 up against Charlton. Ben Purrington for the Grecians. That is also in League One.
I'll tell you, the way they've set up here, Birmingham, it's been quite impressive. They don't look like a side that's lacking confidence.
Well, here's Ethan Laird getting past Parle to the byline, and he checks in rather than putting the cross in first time, and that allowed Clark Salter to just whack it clear left-footed downfield. But Birmingham have it back again on that far side with Iwu, who wins a throw off Parle. 0-0. We've played 7 minutes on Talksport 2.
Yeah, whenever QPR are attacking and they turn the ball over, there's certainly an inclination for Birmingham to commit people forward. And do you know what? When they've got space, people like Roberts and Bakuna, they've got real ability to travel with the ball.
That's Alvin Martin, former West Ham and England legend, alongside me, Ian Danter, this afternoon at Loftus Road in West London. QPR 0, Birmingham City 0. If you're just tuning into EFL Live. Ilias Chair for QPR, looking to sweep the ball downfield, and the wind caught it a little bit and it bounced and made it a little awkward for John Ruddy to claim it, but the Birmingham goalkeeper, in all yellow today, collected it safely enough in the end, and he has the ball rolled back to him by Christian Bielik. Short pass then from Ruddy to Dion Sanderson, and they're giving Michael Frey the run around at the minute, the way they're passing the ball about, but it's now with Lee Buchanan, who'll drive the ball downfield looking for Stansfield, and Jimmy Dunn just lost sight of it, and Stansfield seizes on the loose ball, running up towards the edge of the area. To his right is Ethan Laird. There's 3 Birmingham players waiting for a cross. Laird up against Parle, looked to flick it in field for Stansfield, and it's turned behind for a goal kick. It came off Stansfield last of all. It was good defending in the end from Ilias Chair, tracking back 0-0.
Yeah, I think Stansfield wasn't expecting that ball to be played in behind the last defender. If he had been, I think he would have been in at the byline with a chance to maybe cross the ball there. But certainly the front 3 of Birmingham have caught my eye early on, Dan. Stansfield, obviously a young player, has got a goal in him. It'd be great if he can get himself a goal from Birmingham's point of view today, because he's the sort of player that could go on a run, and either side of him he's got real pace as well.
Laird on the far right hand side for Birmingham, in front of the stand bowl stand. He's got 2 QPR players round him, and it was good work from Sam Field in the end to wrestle possession back for the hosts. Steve Cook has the ball inside the D, chips it out to this near side for Jimmy Dunn, takes it down neatly on his chest, lobs it over halfway for Willett, who tried a first time back heel to get Lucas Anderson away, but Birmingham have it back, and then Christian Bielik lobs the ball over the head of Anderson, manages to get the ball over halfway whilst lying on his backside inside his own half, but QPR have it back, and Steve Cook, I find it hard to recognise Steve Cook now. He's got almost a full head of hair. I'm so used to seeing him with his shaved head when he was at Bournemouth. Now he's actually grown it out a bit. It's hard to spot him. Ilias Chair, lovely little dink to get inside from Park Seung-ho, runs up to the edge of the area, flicks it to his right, and it just behind Michael Frey. But Birmingham don't get the ball properly clear, and it's Chris Willock on the right hand side for Queen's Park Rangers. Goes on the outside of Drammer, puts the cross in, the header saved by Ruddy. Brilliant save from Ruddy to deny Chair, who looks certain to have scored for Queen's Park Rangers. What a stop to keep it goalless.
That was a great save by Ruddy. It was low down to his right. He's a huge frame, isn't he, Ruddy? He got down really quick for a big man, but Willock did really well. He probably beat his full-back too early, or too easy I should say, inside the penalty area, but the ball in was excellent, and he had to generate the power. Chair, he looked like he'd done enough to beat Ruddy, but the Birmingham goalkeeper really has pulled off a fantastic save. That's the first thing they've had to really cheer the QPR crowd.
Great chance for QPR, but not taken. 10 minutes gone on Talksport 2. 0-0 here at Loftus Road. Norwich 0, Plymouth 1. Morgan Whittaker has got his 19th of the season to put Plymouth, who've got relegation worries of their own ahead, at promotion chasing Norwich. And AFC Wimbledon Harrogate Town 1 down in League 2. Harrogate 5 points off 7th, and they lead at Plough Lane through Matty Daly. Here's Lucas Anderson for Queen's Park Rangers, back here at Loftus Road on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Adam Armstrong's just scored for Southampton as they take the lead in their game at home to Middlesbrough. Down the left-hand side, Sam Field trying to work the oracle for QPR down by the corner flag, but Birmingham win the ball back, and then Field has a bit of a nibble at Emmanuel Iwu, and that's a free kick to Birmingham right down by the corner flag on the far side of the field from us. So Southampton lead, and Barrow are also in front, starting the day in 6th in League 2. Cole, the goal, Stockton's giving them the lead against Grimsby Town. And Cardiff 0, Sunderland 1. That's 11th against 12th, the battle of mid-table. No one in 7 for Sunderland, but Adil Aouish has given them the lead with a penalty. Free kick for Birmingham City at 0-0. Struck downfield, but it's headed back with interest by Clark Salter into the Birmingham half, but Buchanan can tidy that up, send it back to his keeper, Ruddy. And he looks for Buchanan again as he keeps the ball away from Michael Frey. Ball deflects, luckily for Birmingham, into the path of Cody Drammer when Chris Woollock looked like he won it back. But now Drammer's moving into the QPR half of the field. Tried to toe poke it through for the run of Stansfield, but that was tidied up quite neatly by Steve Cook, and it's back with Begovic, 0-0.
Yeah, it's a decent game, isn't it? There's not too much in it at the moment. I'm looking at Frey. He hasn't really had too much of the ball. He's had a couple of bits of enlightenment on that left-hand side share. Anderson's pulling the strings, trying to get as far forward as he can. We normally see Field making runs into the box, don't we, getting into goal-scoring positions. I've really seen anything of that. I think certainly Gary Rowett will be more than happy with the opening stages of this game.
Bielik steps in front of Frey to win the ball back, and back it goes to John Ruddy. 2 more live commentaries to come, remember, today from the Championship here. Stay on this frequency and you'll get Blackburn Ipswich at 5:30, and then you'll get Watford against Leeds at 8 p.m. And we'll do it all again on Easter Monday with 4 more Championship commentaries across Talksport 2 and Talksport for your Easter Monday entertainment, starting with Leicester against Norwich. And Leicester lost at lunchtime, you heard it here on Talksport 2, at Bristol City. Now QPR at 0-0, down this near side the right with Lucas Anderson. Works it back down the touchline to Willock, who does well to keep it in play. Works it in field to Dunn. Dunn held up for the moment by Drammer. Works it back to the halfway line to Cook, and then across to Clark Salter. Now Chair scheming his way down the inside left channel. Out to Parle, first time cross from him. Looking for Frey, and Anderson hits the bar. Anderson at the far post just tried to improvise an effort on goal on the half volley as Frey missed the header, and it clipped the top of the crossbar on its way over. Another good chance for QPR, but it stays goalless on 14 minutes.
Well, it's not an easy chance, and he gets a half-decent contact on it, but it hits the bar from, 6 yards out, Dan? He's just got to get over it a little bit more. If he keeps it down, it's a certain goal. Great ball in from the left, and by far the best chance they've had.
So Leicester, Norwich on Easter Monday, starting at noon, then Stoke Huddersfield on Talksport 2, and then we'll switch to Talksport. Easter Monday tea time for Ipswich against Southampton. What a game that promises to be. And then Leeds against Hull rounds things off for your Easter Monday Championship entertainment. Ethan Laird's been fouled by Kenneth Parle on the far side, so Birmingham City have a free kick midway point of the QPR half, far out on that right-hand side, only about 5 or 6 yards in from the far touchline in front of that Stanbol stand. Birmingham attacking the loft end in this first half, away to our left. And our referee, Josh Smith, puts down the vanishing spray for a one-man QPR wall of Ilias Chair, who's standing with his back to the free kick that Juninho Bacuna is about to strike into the box. QPR holding their line at the edge of the 18-yard box. In it comes from Bacuna, actually plays it square into the middle of the park for Park Chung-ho. Into the box, nodded across the face of goal by Bielik. He was looking for Iwu, but the ball sailed above his head, and QPR hurriedly clear, 0-0.
Well, I'm always a little bit disappointed when they play a ball square, when they can deliver it from from the free kick itself. But to be fair, they played that one in the middle of the field. He chipped it onto Bielik's head. Bielik could have actually brought that down. He headed it back into the danger zone, and there wasn't a Birmingham player within that area. He could have actually chested that down and got a shot away.
In League One, Barnsley 0, Cambridge 1. Barnsley starting the day only 7 points off an automatic spot, but they trail at Oakwell to an own goal from Miles de Givigny. And Huddersfield 0, Coventry 1. Ellis Sims has put Coventry ahead at the John Smith Stadium. Remember, Huddersfield are third bottom, but only third bottom on goal difference ahead of Birmingham City, but they trail to Coventry, who've got designs on their own, 4 points off 6th, the Sky Blues. We played 15 minutes, 16 minutes now here at Loftus Road on Talksport 2. QPR 0, Birmingham City 0. Even Stephen Alvin Martin or QPR with edge on chances?
I think QPR have had the 2 better chances, especially the last one. Really from Anderson. I think he should have done better with that and got his foot over the ball. But really, you'd say that Birmingham have kept it relatively quiet. 2 chances in the last 5 minutes, but they've come here with a game plan, and they're playing with a fair modicum of confidence here. So from that point of view, I think, like I say, Bright will be happy. I think they've got to be aware, QPR, that it's not all going to be one-way traffic. I think when they do turn over the ball, I've mentioned it. Tyler on this left-hand side, and Stansfield down the middle, and Bakuna on the right. They're certainly willing to run forward in there. They look like they've got, again, a semblance of confidence and a game plan that they're putting into place here. So, yeah, it's not going to be an easy nut to crack, this Birmingham side.
17 minutes gone, 0-0. QPR beat Arsenal in a behind closed doors friendly during the international break, whilst Gary Rowett had just over a week and a half to get his new Birmingham squad up to speed with what he wanted. Stansfield penalised for a foul on Dunn, and QPR have a free kick now 15 yards inside the Birmingham City half of the field, just to the right of centre. So in the Championship, Sunderland lead at Cardiff, Coventry lead at Huddersfield, Plymouth lead at Norwich, and Southampton a goal up at Middlesbrough. The rest of the games, including this one at the Loft, are goalless, Alvin Martin.
Yeah, I think he was a little lucky there, Dunn, to get away with that. He's another free kick here. Anderson's going to take it. It's not in a dangerous area, but they have got a fair amount of height, haven't they, QPR? He maybe just play this in and around the edge of the box and look for knockdowns. I think that's something that QPR have done. They don't always have to score the perfect goal. They will score the scruffy goals, which you need to do, especially in a relegation battle.
Anderson with the free kick for Queen's Park Rangers. Birmingham holding their line at the edge of the 18-yard box. It's floated out to the left-hand side of the box, nodded across the 18-yard line, but a half-volley clearance from Tyler Roberts gets it up to halfway, but it's retrieved for QPR by Powell. And he'll get it back from Ilias Chair, and under a bit of pressure from Stansfield, elects to work the ball back to his goalkeeper, Asmir Begovic. 4 wins in 19 for QPR, but only 1 defeat in 6, so you can make the stats work a little more positively for QPR, and they did have 3 straight wins in recent times under Marty Cifuentes before the home defeat here to Middlesbrough. Now here's Juninho Bakuna just losing touch of the ball as he tried to drive down the inside right channel for Birmingham. Field wins it back. Forest Green 0, Stockport 1 in League 2. Forest Green bottom of the pile and Stockport second. Callum Camps has given the Hatters the lead at the New Lawn. Swindon 1, Notts County 0 as well in League 2. Aaron Drinnan for the Robins. QPR coming forward with Cher, who tries an effort from fully 35 yards out that, well, it lands in about row 20 of the higher tier at the school end away to our right. Goal kick 0-0.
I don't think Ruddy was ever too worried about that one, was he? But fair enough, he's cutting in on his right foot, wants to get a shot away, possibly chose the wrong option there, too far out. He had players around him they could have passed to Cher, but he's capable of something, maybe not as brilliant as that would have been, but certainly another 10 yards in.
Well, maybe it's the sort of day with the wind blowing around like it is to actually try those sort of shots and see whether the wind catches it and helps you out.
But he was so far off, wasn't he? Needed a bigger stand really to catch that.
Bielik sends it down the left-hand side. Stansfield putting Dunn under pressure, and he almost put it into his own net, because I don't know what Begovic was doing, but he wasn't really paying that much attention to Jimmy Dunn. He fired it back to Begovic, who just prevented it going in his own net and has put it out for a Birmingham City throw on this left-hand side. More from Alvin in a moment, but here's Drammer putting the ball into the box. Clark Salter heads clear. Bielik heads it back down this left-hand side, kept in play by Drammer. Works it in field to Buchanan, who lets the ball run across his body, gets to the edge of the centre circle and lays it off to Sanderson. Sanderson, captaining the Birmingham side today, wasn't used against Watford in the home defeat before the international break. Pike Sung-ho looks for Stansfield, tried to hold it up at the edge of the area, but can't find a teammate. Only half cleared by Isaac Hayden, and Stansfield now working towards the edge of the area. That's great work, tracking back by Isaac Hayden, who'd lost the ball originally, but he worked so hard, Alvin Martin, to get the ball back for the host. 0-0.
I think Stansfield's got to do better there as well from Birmingham's point of view. The 28 for Birmingham playing up front. There's a couple of little moments there just in that last passage of play. He wasn't expecting the ball to come to him, and he should have been expecting it. Bounced off him, he gave possession away, and then a second time around the edge of the box he gets it out of his feet, then he can progress the move, and he didn't do that. He's still learning, the young lad, but he needs to learn very quickly.
Bakuna, and it's gone out to the right hand side, and a handball from Dion Sanderson in front of Chris Willock has given QPR a free kick just beyond the midway point of the Birmingham half. and it's a good 9 or 10 yards in field. And Lucas Anderson, who takes all the set pieces, standing over this one again. Handball against Sanderson, Alvin.
A little bit quiet here today. I think the crowd, the QPR fans have come in here expecting to win this game, which is always a strange one, isn't it, Dance? Because they've met a team that has come here with renewed confidence, maybe a new manager, and not finding it easy.
Free kick then for Queen's Park Rangers. 22 minutes gone, approaching the midway point of the first half. 0-0. And it's Anderson to send the ball deep to the far post. Cook tries to head it across the face of goal, and it's off the chest of Laird and behind for QPR's first corner of the game at 0-0. Coventry have got a second at Huddersfield. Ellis Sims has his second as well. Huddersfield 0, Coventry 2, and Cole Stotson has his second for Barrow. They lead Grimsby by 2-0. Corner taken short, out to the left-hand side of the area. Anderson tries to drive it goalwards for QPR. Cleared away by Laird. Birmingham trying to keep possession, and Tyler Roberts fires it up to halfway, but Parl has plenty of time to control it and send it back to his goalkeeper Asmir Begovic. Begovic gives it back to Parl, and now Chair inside his own half on the far side of the field from our commentary position. We're at the back of the Batia stand here at Loftus Road, with the loft end to our left and the school end to our right, where the Birmingham travelling fans are. Here's Willock, again just inside his own half. Lays it off to Jake Clark-Salter. Square ball for Cook. Bacuna closes down the space and forces Cook to go long, and it's overhit. There's been a few of those from QPR so far today, Alvin.
Yeah, they're not finding it easy. Like I said, the conditions aren't easy either as well, Dan, so you've got to take that in consideration. But they're certainly... they're not getting the ball in. Well, I can't remember how many times you've had a decent quality ball played into Frey and got people to join him. That's what they've got to do, and they've got to get Field. Obviously, if you get a good quality ball into Frey, you get Field involved, Anderson involved. They have made runs in there, but the quality of their final third play has not been up to the required standard.
Iwu, sensible up to halfway. Stansfield couldn't win the header. He was muscled out of it really well by Jake Clark-Salter. Preston take the lead against Rotherham, the bottom side. Rotherham could go down today if there was an extraordinary set of results, but they're as good as down, and they trail at Deepdale to Dwayne Holmes. QPR in possession inside their own half with Jake Clark-Salter. Plays the ball square across to Dunn, the right back. Just steps inside Cody Drammer, who come out to engage him, but then runs into Juninho Bacuna, so has to flick it away to Cook. Clark-Salter again. Plays it out to Chair, hugging that far touchline just on the halfway line. Runs infield, being tracked by Tyler Roberts, but then just pirouettes and turns away from Roberts for a moment. But Parl has to work it back to Clark-Salter. Birmingham City tried to plug the gaps when QPR rather are looking for those spaces to pass through. And now it's with Jimmy Dunn. Evades the challenge of Cody Drammer and gives it back to Steve Cook. Cross it goes to Clark-Salter, looking for an option ahead of him. Chair again, always willing to come short and receive the ball, Alvin, even if it is inside his own half. Chair to try and set up play for the hosts.
Yeah, they want to get him further up there, but I've seen them trying to move themselves around. You've got Chair obviously coming into midfield. Anderson's come over this right. They've got Willock, who's gone infield, but they still can't get their match winners on the ball dance, and that's credit to Birmingham.
It is 0-0. We played 25 minutes. You're listening to QPR Birmingham in the EFL Championship on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. It's 18+. Terms and conditions apply. Hayden out to the QPR left for Ilias Chair. Midway point of the Birmingham half. Up against Laird. Clips the ball in right-footed. Sanderson gets a vital header on it to turn it behind for a corner, because there were players coming in just behind him, one of whom was Sam Field, but it is QPR's second corner of the afternoon, 0-0.
Yeah, and that's the sort of run that he makes, isn't it, Field? A good ball in. Sanderson just got a touch on the ball. It was only inches away from getting to Field. If it had got to him, he was inside the 6-yard box. It would have been a goal.
Corner for QPR, where the school end meets the stand bowl stand. Away to our right-hand side, a right-footed in-swinger to come from Lucas Anderson. Right under the crossbar, but well claimed by John Ruddy, under no real pressure, and he just bowls it out overarm to try and set Juninho Bacuna away, who gets up to the halfway line, faced up by Hayden, but he plays it through the Stansfield. Stansfield takes it around Begovic. The angle's tight. He's got to the dead ball line. Can he tee up a teammate? Finds Bacuna at the edge of the area. QPR have now got shirts back, and that initial problem has evaded them. But now Drama, left-hand side of the area, playing it across the face of goal, put straight up in the air by Steve Cook. Then Clark Salter can't get rid of it, and Begovic comes to QPR's rescue and claims it and gets it downfield, and Willock tries to release Frey over halfway. Now Frey faced up by Sanderson. Almost the first time Frey's had meaningful possession for QPR this afternoon. Works it out to the right-hand side, and Lucas Anderson. Anderson trying to go on the outside of Buchanan. Buchanan hits it against Anderson, but it's been given as a corner kick, I think. Indeed, Josh Smith has given it as a QPR corner. Action at both ends here, 0-0.
Yeah, I think that, Birmingham will feel frustrated. They didn't make more of that. Stansfield's through, he goes past Begovic. He is wide, no doubt about it, but once he cuts back, he had support in there. He didn't pick the right ball out, Dan. So if he had I think we could have seen the first goal.
As it is, it's a QPR corner at the other end, at the school end, away to our right, where it meets the Batia stand that we're sat in. So Lucas Anderson just disappears from sight for a moment as he paces back 3 or 4 paces to address this right-footed out-swinging delivery for Queen's Park Rangers at 0-0. 27 minutes gone. In it comes from Anderson. Ruddy stays at home. It's flicked out of the area by Bielik, but retrieved by Hayden. Back to Parle at the edge of the centre circle. Now Chair looking to loft it in. Brilliant ball for Anderson, who's in space and drills it wastefully over the top. What a ball from Ilias Chair to pick out Lucas Anderson onside inside the area. Brought it down, but lashed the shot well wide. Goal kick to Birmingham City, but another chance goes begging for Queen's Park Rangers, 0-0.
Well, it was a great ball, and Anderson, his first touch weren't bad, to be fair. Maybe could have been a little bit better, but he takes it on the volley. He just allows Buchanan to actually get a toe in and put him under pressure, and he hurried him. Still, maybe he could have done better, but no, they are starting to, both teams now, starting to find a look at goal.
Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 2. Portsmouth back in front, the leaders of League One through Colby Bishop. Sunderland have a second. They're 2-0 up at Cardiff now. Joe Bellingham, and QPR have won the ball back down the right wing with Chris Willock. Gets to the byline, can't pull the cross back, but he lays it off to Anderson. Anderson, poor ball, but it might drop for Chair at the edge of the box, trying to wriggle clear and make space for a shot, but he's dispossessed. Only half cleared by Birmingham, and then Pikes Young Ho just lobs it into the path of Juninho Bacuna, who starts to get his afterburners on and get over halfway, clips it to his right, looking at his Stansfield, but it's overhit and drifts out of play for a QPR throw. And again, the action swings from end to end in this relegation clash at Loftus Road with 29 gone, 0-0.
Well, certainly QPR have got the advantage. The possession is better for them, but whenever they turn the ball over, there's certainly an attacking threat by Birmingham as well. It's really about who now can find that little bit of a clinical side to the game in terms of a ball that's played in or a finish, and neither team has been able to do that up to this point.
Peterborough 0, Carlisle 1 in League One. Posh 7 points off second, but Carlisle bottom of the pile, no win in 5. They lead at the Western Homes through John Mellish. And Forest Green 0, Stockport 2 now. Rico Richards has a second for the Hatters. 0-0 here on Talksport 2. You're with EFL Live, the second of our 4 exclusive championship commentaries on Talksport 2 today. Leicester lost at Bristol City at lunchtime. Here it's 0-0 at the other end of the table between QPR and Birmingham City, but QPR have it again with Willock. Gets to the byline, right-hand side of the area. Still hasn't put the cross in, then goes for a shot with his left, and it's an easy save at his near post for John Ruddy, 0-0.
I still think that, if they can get the ball to Willock, he looks like he has got the beating of the fullback on this side, and I think Zame or Buchanan, whoever faces up, I think he has got, certainly in the penalty area, the ability to go past him and get a ball in. Perhaps he chose the wrong option there to go for the shot, and he could have taken the ball on and maybe tried to find a teammate, but certainly down this right-hand side, you feel that QPR are looking pretty dangerous.
They seem to be growing in confidence, as you say, Alvin Martin, particularly down their right-hand side. Queen's Park Rangers, balls back with John Ruddy, 0-0 here. 1-0 to Milton Keynes against Walsall in League 2. Milton Keynes only 3 points off an automatic spot, and they lead at Stadium MK through Emre Tezgel. But it's goalless here at the Loft. Fleetwood 0, Cheltenham 1 in that massive relegation game at the bottom of League 1. That's 23rd against 22nd. No one in 6 for Cheltenham, but they lead through Liam Sercombe at Highbury. Birmingham City in possession at 0-0. It's with Emmanuel Iwu, who's got plenty of green grass to run into inside his own half. Plays it in field for Bielik, into the centre circle for Bacuna. He lays it off for Lee Buchanan. Buchanan strokes it out to this near touchline for Cody Drammer on loan from Leeds United. Infield it goes for another former Leeds player, Tyler Roberts. Drama's gone into the area to receive it back, tried to take the shot, it was blocked, comes out to Park Seung-ho with his back to goal, can't turn and shoot, and QPR get it clear, but it's just going to go beyond Michael Frey, and Sanderson will tuck it back to his goalkeeper, 0-0.
Lovely little flick, wasn't it, from Roberts there? I don't think Drama expected the ball to come to him, because when it did, I think he panicked inside the box.
Big goal at the top of League 2. Wrexham 1, Mansfield 0. That's third against first. Wrexham will draw level with the Stags if they win today, and Paul Mullin has got the goal for Wrexham at the racecourse. 0-0 here. Birmingham City in possession with Dion Sanderson. Plays it out, looking for Iwood on the right-hand side, but he's got an anvil in his boot there. It's gone straight out of play for a QPR throw just shy of the halfway line. Throw taken quickly and worked infield for Isaac Hayden, once of Arsenal. Now it's with Jake Clark-Salter, who give the ball back to Asmir Begovic. Imposing frame of the Bosnian goalkeeper as he strikes the ball out to this right-hand side. Good header down from Jimmy Dunn, trying to get Willock away down the right-hand side, but on this occasion, Birmingham had themselves organised down their left, and Lee Buchanan guided the ball back to his keeper. Now Birmingham send the ball forward. Laird with a header infield looking for Stansfield. It will drop around the halfway line. Bit of head tennis, which is won in the end by Birmingham City through Park Seung-ho, who was playing international football for Korea on Tuesday against Thailand. Only got back to the UK on Thursday morning. Jordan James on the bench for Birmingham, who of course was part of that Wales side that lost on penalties to Poland on Tuesday night in Cardiff. Bakuna out to the left-hand side for Birmingham City, and Cody Drammer looks to play the ball back in field to Bakuna, but overhits the pass, and Hayden will try and bring it clear. Heavy touch from Michael Frey, and the ball's whacked into the face of Sam Field, who's gone down, and the referee says that's a head injury. He's going to have to get treated, even though Birmingham City were trying to launch an attack down the right-hand side, and Field may or may not need treatment for the physios, but he certainly caught a stinger right in the fizzock there, Alvin.
Well, he shouldn't be stopping the game for that, though. It's right.
There speaks a player from the 1970s, 1980s.
Right in front of the referee, and they can tell the players. Right, he's taking one in the tummy, the midriff, or whatever it is. But again, I don't agree with the game getting stopped like that. Let's have a look at the replay. What do you think, Dan? Am I being harsh there? No,
I don't think you are, Alvin.
Referee, book up.
Our referee is Josh Smith, incidentally, from Cambridge, who's given out 7 red cards in 30 games this season, and he has had an opportunity to referee in the Premier League for the first time this season. I think I saw his first game as a Premier League referee, and he did pretty well when Luton played Wolves. That was live on Talksport 2 earlier in the season. Got more Premier League action for you all on Talksport tomorrow afternoon. Our coverage starts at 11. West Ham Newcastle, then Tottenham Luton, and then straight after that your evening kickoff will bring you Brentford against Manchester United. And then Tyler Roberts brought down by Chris Willock, who's going to be spoken to at least by referee Josh Smith, but that's all it's going to be, I think. Just a final public warning like they used to give out in the wrestling.
I think that's the first foul I can remember anyone committing. I don't know, you've got to talk to a player. Does that mean he's going to get a yellow card over the next one?
Possibly.
The game doesn't want that.
It's been a very high tempo game though. 35 minutes gone. 10 to the break on Talksport 2. You're listening to EFL Live. Ian Danter and Alvin Martin with you at Loftus Road. 20th against 21st at the start of the afternoon. QPR against Birmingham City. And QPR win the ball back on halfway. And Roberts went in strongly on Willock, and now he's going to get a final warning, or maybe a yellow card from Josh Smith for a foul on the player that Josh Smith has just given a warning to. And indeed, that is all it is. It's just a final reminder. Next one, son, you're in the book, 0-0. Free kick then to QPR. We've got some brand new sport for you live on Talksport 2 in the morning from 6 a.m. The Tokyo E-Prix. As Formula E comes to Talksport 2 for the very first time. Very proud to be bringing you that. John Jackson will be your commentator. Formula E on Talksport 2. First thing in the morning from 6 o'clock, 6:30. Get your alarm set and check out some exciting motorsport action live on Talksport 2. Here is Lucas Anderson for Queen's Park Rangers at 0-0. Gives the ball back to Steve Cook. Keeps the ball away from Stansfield, and a lovely clip pass from Sam Field under pressure from Park Seung-ho out to the left-hand side for Ilias Chair. But Chair, under pressure from Laird, has to go back into his own half, and the two QPR centre-halves exchange passes. Little flick from Chris Willett trying to get Anderson away down the QPR right, and the ball has gone out of play for a QPR throw, taken quickly by Anderson. Frey, good turn to get down the right-hand side of the box. Sanderson goes with him, and the cross deflects out of play off Dion Sanderson for a throw to Queen's Park Rangers, about 5 yards from the corner flag on this near side. And once again, Anderson disappears from my sight just for a moment. Jimmy Dunn hooks it back out to the right-hand side, looking for Anderson, but he's offside, according to the assistant, on this near side, and Birmingham City will have a free kick. Gary Rowett won 6 of his first 10 games when he first took charge of Birmingham City back in late 2014, but 3 wins in 17 are the reason why he's been brought in here. They haven't won, Birmingham, since Tony Mowbray's last game in charge, which were a dramatic late win at St Andrews against Sunderland. But the announcement was made shortly after that he would be stepping back for a medical procedure, and Birmingham haven't won since. Indeed, they've not scored in their last 3 games, and they haven't scored here either. But it's 0-0 as we approach the last 7 minutes of the first half. Pike for Birmingham as Preston go 2-0 upon Rotherham. Emil Rees Jakobsen with a second for the Lily-Whites. Here's Pike getting to the edge of the area, tries to find Roberts, and the ball shanked off the top of his boot and wide. Great chance. He tried to stroke it home with his instep, but the ball might have bobbled, I don't know, before it reached him. But he shanked it horribly, and the QPR fans at the Loft End loved that. 0-0.
No, he's got no excuses here, Dan. I mean, it's a great ball played down the left-hand channel for Pike to get onto. He gets onto his left foot, and he puts a really good ball across, picks it out, and he just doesn't get it right. It's not an easy one to hit. It's coming across his body by Roberts, but really, you've got to open your body out. You've got to hit the target from there. You might not score, but at least hit the target.
Could he not have afforded to take a touch there? There was a bit of space in front of him.
Could have, but once you elect to hit it first time, and it was on.
Yeah.
Because you're going to use the because it was coming back towards him, you can use the power that affords you, and he got it wrong. Hard skill, but if you get them right, they're wonderful goals. If you get them wrong, it don't look pretty.
And that's exactly what happened there. Bakuna down the right-hand side for Birmingham. Gives it to Ethan Laird. Laird looks for Roberts, who made a darting run into the area. Good defending from Clark Salter, and it's out of play for a Birmingham throw, even though Clark Salter thought he was clattered into by Roberts as he got the ball clear. So Laird will have the throw on the far side of the field, 10 yards from the corner flag, throws it into Bakuna. Bakuna thinks about giving it back to Laird, and it's gone out of play for a QPR throw as Birmingham get it all wrong on that far side of the field. 0-0.
Yeah, again, they're just having a little spell here, aren't they, Birmingham, where they're keeping the ball. They've had it in good positions. Roberts looks up for the game, no doubt about it. I think from Birmingham's point of view, Stansfield's not really gone to the game. He's had that one moment when he got through, went past Begovic and didn't make the most of the situation he went in. But they have looked, I think very compatible. I think they've looked like confident in difficult circumstances. So yeah, I think Gary Rowett up to this point will think if we get in at half time and it stays 0-0 and the game continues like this, I'll be happy. Roberts darting down the left hand side of the area for Birmingham, lets the ball run out of play because he knew it came off the QPR boot last of all, and Birmingham City have won their first corner of the afternoon at the Loft End, away to our left hand side. 0-0. Yeah, again, it can be frustrating because I think QPR know, it's a massive game between two clubs, very, very close in the table. And the onus is on them, they're QPR. They've been getting results, consistently. I think they're pleasing the fans. They're at home. They're expected to win this game. And you can see that's pressure's maybe preying on them a little bit here. So the corner kick is going to be taken by Park Seung-ho. Right-footed in-swing. It's where the Loft End meets the Batia stand that we're sat in, just down to our left-hand side. Pike, couple of paces back from the ball, and the referee's just spotting a bit of pushing and shoving around the edge of the 6-yard box. Anderson able. They're holding on to each other, pushing each other. Again, I don't think he needs to stop it there, the referee. Big goal for Sheffield Wednesday. They lead Swansea City by 1-0. Bailey Cadamarteri with the opener at Hillsborough. Remember, Sheffield Wednesday are right in amongst it at the bottom of the Championship. Here's Birmingham's corner to be delivered by Park Seung-ho. Deep to the far post. Begovic lets it go, and Stansfield couldn't get on it. It was too high for him. It just goes straight behind for a goal kick to Queen's Park Rangers as Derby County take the lead against Blackpool. Derby
in second in League One, and Ibu Adams, the former Forest Green midfielder, has given them the lead against the Seasiders. And that's a big goal for Sheffield Wednesday, Alvin, against Swansea in this race to stay in the Championship, because that goal takes them out of the bottom three and dumps Birmingham City in it.
Yeah, I think obviously, the last 4 or 5 games, I mean, this is the last 8 games are going to be entertaining, dance, but that last 2 or 3, and certainly the last day of the season, beckons to be an unbelievable roller coaster ride, doesn't it, for a few teams? I can't see it being any clearer than what it is now, to be fair.
Talksport 2 this Good Friday afternoon. Ian Danter and Alvin Martin with you at Loftus Road. 3 minutes to half time. QPR 0, Birmingham 0. QPR send the ball into the box from the right hand side. It's a good cross from Anderson, but it just evaded everybody, but drifts out to the left hand side where Parle retrieves it. Finds Ilias Chair, left hand corner of the box, faced up by Iwu, gets the ball onto his right, tried a shot, blocked away by Iwu, but Stansfield couldn't pick it up. QPR have it back with Chair once again, slides it down the left hand side of the area for the cross from Parle, that's cleared away. First time of asking by Pike, brought down by Bakuna like he's got carpet slippers on, and he forced Chair to put it out for a throw on the far side of the field. Colchester 0, Newport County 1 in League 2. Colchester only 1 point clear of the bottom 2, and they trail Ofrandi Zanzala for Newport, who themselves are only 4 points off 7th. Every goal means something in the EFL this afternoon. Preston 3-0 up on Rotherham, only 5 points off 6th at the start of the afternoon, Preston North End. And that's the second of the afternoon for Emil Rees. They've been a different side since he got fit again. Now on halfway, QPR at 0-0. Ilias Chair playing a neat 1-2 with Frey, but then it was well won back by Laird. Pike losing possession, and Frey has it back, the Swiss. Tries to ride the challenge of Iru, but he was having his shoulder pulled back by Pike Sung-ho, and it'd be a free kick midway point of the Birmingham half for Queen's Park Rangers, as Port Vale take the lead against Bristol Rovers. 3 points adrift of Cambridge, 21st place Port Vale, but Darren Moorside lead through Ben Garrity. There's another example, Alvin. Every goal means something wherever it goes in this afternoon.
Absolutely. Look at you just a few moments ago, you mentioned about Anderson putting a great ball across the face of goal from this right hand side, and I think that's where QPR may be lacking. You've got to take a chance before he delivers that ball. You've already got to be on your way, gambling. You can't let the ball go in and then react to it. I think they've got to take a chance. Certainly with Frey in there, you've got to really get decent delivery in, but it's got to be attacked. Last minute of the first half, free kick for QPR, sent into the Birmingham box, but Buchanan heads it out to the right hand side where Cook retrieves it and wins a throw by hitting it against the chest of Cody Drammer. So the throw will be QPR's, level with the edge of the Birmingham City penalty area, with QPR attacking the school end to our right towards the end of this first half. Remember, Blackburn Ipswich to come at 5:30 live on Talksport 2, and Watford Leeds. Here comes the throw, flicked across the face of goal and headed clear under pressure by Emmanuel Iwu for Birmingham City, but Chair has it back in that inside left position for QPR. Comes in field, clips a right-footed ball into the box. Jimmy Dunn with the header straight up Ruddy, who clutches onto it gratefully and makes the save and keeps it goalless. Good ball in by Chair. To be fair to Buchanan, he's a lot smaller than Dunn, isn't he? Dunn is like the Championship's answer to Dan Burton, isn't he, at Newcastle? He's big and strong as a right back, wants to get forward, and it's because Buchanan really just done enough to put him off. He was able to get the header away, Dunn, but nowhere near the power that he needed. We're into 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time at the end of this first half on Talksport 2. Wigan Athletic lead Burton by 1-0. Burton only 3 points clear of the drop zone in League One, and an own goal from Sam Hughes has put them behind at the DW. Throw into Queen's Park Rangers meantime, midway point of their own half on the far side of the field, the Stan Bowles stand side, and Kenneth Parles looking for an option. Eventually throws it into Samfield, who hooks it first time over his shoulder up to halfway, kept in play by Iwu, bit of a ricochet, and somehow Janino Bakuna's kept it in play on that far side of the field, works it in field to Tyler Roberts, who drifts out to that right hand side. Bakuna again tries to hit the cross in, but blocked away by Samfield for a throw to Birmingham. How on earth did they keep that in play on that far side? Great skill, Bakuna. Obviously he's brought it down and volley with his right foot. It looked like it was going to go out, especially in this wind, but he's been able to keep it in. But again, when it did eventually come back to him again, their dancers, his delivery or his attempt at the cross wasn't good enough, was it? And both teams have been lacking in that, their final delivery.
Throwing into the area, might drop for Tyler Roberts, went down under pressure. Half-hearted claims for a penalty, waved away by Josh Smith. Birmingham have it back with Cody Drammer, but he loses out to this towering figure of Jimmy Dunn, the QPR right-back, who flicks it forward, asking Frey to make a run. But again, Dion Sanderson got there before Frey and guides it back to his goalkeeper. Ruddy finds Laird, who flicks it on. There's a race toward the edge of the box. Cook couldn't get it back to his goalkeeper. He knew that Stansfield was herring in behind him, and as we get towards the end of that 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time, Birmingham have another throw on the far side of the field, but time is running out for either side in this first half to break the deadlock.
That's horrible. When that ball gets played in behind you as a centre half, Cook he was facing his own goal. He knew that the keeper couldn't come, and the final whistle, the half-time whistle's just gone there. But look, it's a game really, Dancer, isn't it? That could have gone either way, but they've edged it, QPR. But Birmingham, I think, will be more than pleased. 45 minutes done and dusted then at Loftus Road in our second exclusive commentary of the day, and it may be goalless here at Loftus Road, but it's been a really high-tempo affair, and QPR have had great chances. Ilias Chair with a header, brilliantly saved one-handed by John Ruddy, and then a cross from the left-hand side later in the half for QPR saw Lucas Anderson sneaking in at the far post on the half volley 6 yards out. Couldn't keep his effort down, and it went over the bar. At the other end, Birmingham's best chance arguably was where a ball was played through from Bakuna to get Jay Stansfield away. He rounded Asmir Begovic, but he was running out of ground even as he rounded the QPR keeper and couldn't get the ball on target. So I think you're right, Alvin Martin, as we hit half-time, QPR have just about edged it, but we're still stalemate. It's all about taking your chances, and I think if they'd have taken two of the chances, now the best two chances in the half, then we might see a different game, because the impact on the opposition would have been greater then. But as it is, at 0-0, Gary Rowell said, right, I'm happy with that. We've looked a threat. They haven't sort of sat back and soaked up pressure. They have looked at trying to create problems going back the other way, which I think they've done. And it's maybe made the crowd here a little bit nervous, because it's not been all one-way traffic. An easy first 45 for QPR. The crowd know that they're in for a game here, and so do QPR.
So what's Marty Cifuentes saying to his players after that first half?
It's all about the quality. It's all about the quality of the delivery. And when you do get a chance, and they've had two good chances, you've got to stick them in the back of the net. If you do that, then obviously you can start looking at maybe moving on and killing the game off. But they'll be fairly pleased, because it's a difficult afternoon here at Loftus Road. Not easy to get the ball down, a swirling wind. But that's the way it is. You've got to make the best of it. But certainly both teams have shown that they've got maybe a goal in them. There's a very good save from John Ruddy, I've got to say, Dance. That save was fantastic. Low down to his right to keep it at 0-0. So yeah, partly positive, fairly positive team, both managers.
Well, as it stands, Birmingham City are in the bottom three of the Championship, courtesy of that Sheffield Wednesday goal at home to Swansea. QPR only a point clear of the drop zone themselves. So much to be decided in the next 45 minutes, let alone the next 7 games after today. Full second half commentary to come. Of course, we've got Blackburn Ipswich to come at 5:30 on Talksport 2, and then Watford against Leeds at 8 p.m. as our attention turns back to the top of the Championship table. But here at the basement battle, the half-time scorers: Queen's Park Rangers 0, Birmingham City 0.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. How's this for a tasty lineup? A McCrispy and a strawberry milkshake. Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points delivered too. 18 plus. Rewards account required. Participating restaurants. Subject to availability. Delivery fees and terms apply.
Washing, dishes, vacuuming, household chores never end. Even for me, Albert Einstein. But you know what? I leave it all till later, because I've got a smart meter. And right now I'm part of a scheme where I get rewarded for changing when I use my energy. More than 1 million others took part last winter using less energy at peak times. Good, eh?
Get ready to start earning rewards. Search Get a Smart Meter today. Eligibility and availability vary. Consumer action required. Reward schemes available to selected customers.
With Now, you can stream all the drama of the Premier League instantly and without a contract.
Absolutely brilliant.
This Sunday, all 3 title contenders are in action as Liverpool face Brighton at Anfield before Man City take on Arsenal at the Etihad.
Can you believe it?
Get all Sky Sports channels for a day or a whole month with a Now Sports membership. Stream the race for the title live this Sunday from 2 p.m. Head to nowtv.com.
18 plus. Sky Sports content streamed via internet. Full terms apply.
Host the roast with Lidl this Easter. Get our British beef joints from $5.99 a kilo, a large gammon joint for $4.49 a kilo, and a leg of lamb from only $5.69 a kilo. That's a cracking Easter with Lidl. Now that's big on quality and always Lidl on price. Subject to availability, selected stores, GB only.
At B&Q and TradePoint, get 3 for 2 on interior paint and paint mixing, and 4 for 3 on laminate and luxury vinyl click flooring. That's a big spring refresh for less. Shop in-store or online. You can do it when you B&Q it. Exclusions apply, ends 8th of April, cdiy.com.
Tonight's Euro Millions jackpot is £44 million.
Now that calls for a dance.
Well, if you insist.
Hit it! Dip me like you've never dipped before.
Get that Euro Millions feeling tonight. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on app. Estimated jackpot. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
Monday afternoon,
Live Championship football
on Talksport 2.
He's popped up with an absolute belter of a goal.
Leicester versus Norwich.
Coverage from 12. Kick-off 12:30. Monday afternoon on Talksport 2.
No one else brings you more.
And he smashed it into the top corner.
Football fantastic.
Talksport 2.
Turbocharge your Saturday with Game Day. It's the ultimate heavy-hitting Premier League experience.
And it's in.
Featuring 3 massive Premier League games.
Newcastle versus West Ham.
Kick-off 12:30.
On Talksport.
What a goal!
Spurs versus Luton.
Kick-off 3 p.m.
On Talksport.
It's in!
Brentford versus Manchester United.
Kick-off 8 p.m.
On Talksport.
He scored!
Game day. Tomorrow.
On Talksport and Talksport 2.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Welcome back to Loftus Road. Ian Danter and Alvin Martin with you on your home of the EFL Talksport 2. It's Good Friday and not just a good game of football, a great game of football, but it's goalless here at the break between these two sides trying to stay out the bottom 3, although as it stands, Birmingham are now in the bottom 3. Let's run you through the half-time scores in the 3 o'clock kickoffs here in the EFL, starting with...
This is Game Day.
Half-time classifieds. Sky Bet Championship.
Full-time scores from earlier. Bristol City 1, Leicester City 0. You heard it live on Talksport 2 here. And full-time Millwall 1, West Brom 1. These are all half-times. Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2, Huddersfield 0, Coventry 2, Hull 0, Stoke 0, Norwich 0, Plymouth 1, Preston 3, Rotherham 0. QPR 0, Birmingham 0 here at Loftus Road. Full second half commentary to come on Talksport 2. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Swansea 0, and Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 0. Coming at 5:30 live on Talksport 2. Blackburn against Ipswich will be there shortly, and then at 8 p.m. also live on Talksport 2 in the Championship, Watford against Leeds.
Sky Bet League 1.
These are all half-times in League 1. Barnsley 0, Cambridge 1, Derby 1, Blackpool 0, Exeter 1, Charlton 0, Fleetwood 0, Cheltenham 1, Lincoln 0, Leyton Orient 0, Peterborough 0, Carlisle 1, Port Vale 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Reading 0, Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 0, Oxford United 0, Stevenage 0, Bolton 0, Wigan 1, Burton 0, and Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 2.
Sky Bet League 2.
Half-times, Accrington 0, Morecambe 0, AFC Wimbledon 0, Harrogate 1, Barrow 2, Grimsby 0, Bradford 0, Tranmere 0, Colchester 0, Newport 1, Crawley 0, Doncaster 0, Forest Green 0, Stockport 2, Gillingham 0, Crewe 0, MK Dons 1, Walsall 0, Salford 0, Sutton 1, Swindon 1, Notts County 0, Wrexham 1, Mansfield 0. And a look at the National League half-times. Bournemouth 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 4, Dorking 0, Bromley 1, Ebbsfleet 0, Southend 1, Gatesend 1, Rochdale 0, Hartlepool 0, FC Halifax Town 0, Kidderminster 1, Altrincham 1, Maidenhead 2, Aldershot 0, Oldham 1, AFC Fylde 3, Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0, Solihull Moors 1, Barnet 2, Woking 0, Eastleigh 1, and finally for now York City 0, Chesterfield 1. Those are your half-time scores around the country in the EFL and the National League. So next up, as I mentioned, we'll be off to Ewood Park for Blackburn Rovers against Ipswich. It's a 5:30 kickoff live on Talksport 2. Cameron Pope will be your commentator, and Mickey Gray, former Blackburn fullback, is our co-commentator, and he joins us now from Ewood. How are you, Mickey?
Dancer, I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, hanging in there with Birmingham City 0-0 here at QPR. My professionalism's being tested to its very limits, Mickey, as you might imagine. Now, your professionalism's being tested by Blackburn at the minute, as a former player watching them. They haven't won in 9, but so many of those have been draws. It's really strange, Mickey, with Blackburn. We'll get to Ipswich in a minute, but having started the season where they barely drew a game, they now can do nothing but draw, it seems.
Yeah, and John Eustace obviously is hoping to get that first win as manager here as well, Dance, and the quicker it comes, the better it's going to be for himself, because they're starting to get dragged towards that relegation zone, and they're not far away from it. It's that time of the season, isn't it, where you've got to pick up as many points as you possibly can. And let's not forget, around Christmas period, Blackburn, I think, were 3 points away from getting into the playoff position. So it's just been a complete slump. Obviously a changing manager, John Dahl Thomason leaving the club and John Eustace coming in, and I think they were hoping for that bounce, but unfortunately it hasn't come. And as you mentioned, it's too many draws. They've got to turn those draws into wins, but it is going to be difficult this afternoon for them.
Well, Ipswich now have all the incentive they need, don't they? Because with Leicester having lost at lunchtime, Mickey, live on Talksport 2, Ipswich know that a win takes them top.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Kieran McKenna will certainly know that. The players will know that, Dance. That's what you're hoping for. When you're trying to push towards those top 2 positions, you're hoping your biggest rivals, they're going to slip up somewhere down the line. Well, Leicester at the moment, what is it? I think 4 defeats in 6, I think it is now. I mean, they're just not showing the form that we expected to see throughout the whole of the season. There was a point where I think they were chasing 121 points in the division, which would have been phenomenal, really. But now I think they can only get to 106, which is the record from Reading. But Kieran McKenna is now looking at those sides just above them. They've gone about their business very quietly, and if they can jump into those top 2, momentum takes you a long, long way.
How can it be, Mickey, that Blackburn have the top goal scorer in the division in Sammy Smodics and be 18th in the table?
Well, Dance, I mean, it's dread to think where Blackburn would be without Sammy Smodics' goals this season. I've been here quite a lot this season. I think I've actually been here a couple of times with yourself, and
I was there with you for the Newcastle Cup tie, which was brilliant, and showed where Blackburn can, match teams and be a proper force to be reckoned with.
No, absolutely, yeah. And I think there's certain teams in the Championship where they've got so many talented young players, but alongside those younger players, you need that little bit of experience, and I think that's what's missing from this Blackburn Rovers side. They're fantastic with the recruitment. If you're a young player, absolutely, you've got the chance to sign for Blackburn. You know you're going to get an opportunity in that first team, but they need a little bit of help. It's kind of sporadic, the games that I see. They do well for a spell of 15 minutes, then they go missing for 15 minutes, and that's the problem, where they keep conceding these goals. And certainly at home, where the form hasn't been great, they've only won 6, they've lost 8 here as well. But that's something that certainly needs to turn around towards the end of this season.
And has there been a better January transfer window signing in the EFL for you than Kiefer Moore coming into Ipswich?
I mean, I was hoping that he was going to be wearing red and white, Dance, I've got to be completely honest with you, but there was talk about it. Look, he's the talisman, isn't he? He holds the ball up really well, and if you've got a side like Ipswich who love to get on the front foot, they're very offensive, but they can be direct at times. Kiefer Moore is absolutely perfect for the Championship, and then you put the ball into the area. There's not many better headers of a ball in the Championship. Look, it's 6, I think, since he's walked through the door here. He's been a revelation, he really has, and if he is the signing in January that's going to get them into those top 2 spots, what a coup from Kieran McKenna.
Hey, don't worry, Mickey. Sunderland 2 up at Cardiff. Mid-table obscurity is all yours, mate. All yours.
Happy days.
Enjoy the game, Mickey. We'll hear from you later.
Cheers, Dance.
Mickey Gray, part of our commentary team, alongside Cameron Pope at Ewood Park. So Blackburn against Ipswich gets underway at 5:30, and Cameron will bring us the team news at some point during our second half commentary here at Loftus Road, with both sets of substitutes. Alvin Martin out there doing warm-ups, and we were just talking off air about young Jay Stansfield, the Birmingham centre forward at just 21 years of age. An awful lot of pressure on a young man on loan, let's not forget, his first season at this level, on loan from Fulham. I wonder whether Scott Hogan, who's not a fan's favourite with Birmingham fans, I must say, might get a run from Gary Rowett for a more experienced head as the game progresses.
Yeah, well, look, I think Gary Rowett will want to play the youngster up there, see if he comes up with a goal, and who knows, he can motor on to the end of the season. If it doesn't happen, then obviously you've got to review where you are. But it's such an important position, and you know what, they have shown enough, I think, Birmingham, whenever they've turned, broke down an attack, a QPR attack, saying we will flood people forward, and they've got into some really good areas. but you need that man at the top that knows what he's doing. He's the one that shows or makes a run or stands still, and other people play off him, and he's still learning his trade. So it's very difficult for the youngster. He's only got one, I think, in his last 8 after scoring a few when he first came. So maybe confidence for him is not all that high. But it's certainly Gary Rowett's decision to make that. But they do look like they're lacking that centre forward, a little bit of presence.
One player that interests me on the QPR bench is young Sinclair Armstrong. It's kind of a breakthrough season for this young man, and he has scored 1 or 2 goals. 4 he's got in all competitions this season, but just 20 years of age. Came over from Shamrock Rovers a few years ago. A real raw talent, Alvin. I don't know how much you've seen of him, if any.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of him, but look, I think he's going to be getting to know his players. He'll know some of them, but it's not until you see them on the training ground, you see them up really close, so you can really evaluate what their strengths and weaknesses are. But I think what he will be saying to everyone down there is, look, in that first 45, we've been solid. We've limited them to very few chances, and we've certainly on the counter-attack proved that we can get people forward and get into good positions. When they get into good positions, they've got to finish off, and I think Roberts had one on the half volley maybe he could have done better with. Stansfield went through, took the ball around Begovic, could so easily have maybe just done enough to roll the ball into the back of net, but he went too wide, didn't make the best of it on the ball that he cut back. So they've had 1 or 2 good moments in there. I think Roberts has had one that went too far away with his right foot. So very much the same. It could be one of them games that's going to be won by 1 goal, and what a 1 goal it would be for either side, because it'd be, you're talking about a massive game with the stakes so high.
Alvin Martin alongside me, Ian Danter. Players are back out there getting ready for the second half. Live sport coming up tomorrow. Game day in the Premier League. 3 games on Talksport, back to back. Newcastle, West Ham at lunchtime. Tottenham, Luton at 3 o'clock, and Brentford, Manchester United at 8 o'clock after the phone-in. And then on Sunday, the Women's League Cup final live on Talksport 2. Arsenal, Chelsea. That's from Molineux. Our coverage starts here on Talksport 2 at 2:30 in the afternoon. We've got live boxing on Sunday from 6 o'clock on Talksport 2 at the O2 Arena, with 5 fights on the undercard before Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clark for the British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles. Both fighters undefeated. Who's going to win this match? Who's going to be on the ropes by the end of the 90 minutes? We're back underway at Loftus Road. Birmingham City in possession, wearing their change strip of all black today. They're attacking the school end to our right, where their supporters are. I'll run you through the lineups in a minute. QPR in the traditional blue and white hoops with white shorts and socks. They're attacking the loft end, as they love to do, away to our left in this second half. QPR have Begovic in goal, Dunn, Cook, Clark, Salter and Parle in a back 4, Field and Hayden holding, and then Willock, Anderson and Cher behind Frey in attack. Birmingham have Ruddy in goal, Iwu, Sanderson, Buchanan, then Laird, Pike, Bielik and Drammer, Bakuna, Stansfield and Roberts. Here is Pike Sung-ho on this near side to us, just underneath our commentary position, right at the back of the Batia stand. A sliding challenge from Ethan Laird. He's going to get a yellow card here first of the game.
He couldn't wait, could he, to get that card out? Josh Smith, come on, what are we in, 2 or 3 minutes into the second half?
Yeah.
Somebody's made a challenge, didn't get the ball, it was a foul. Keep the card in your pocket.
Was he in control of the challenge? That's what he's probably thinking to himself, Josh Smith.
Well, look, it was a slide tackle, and no one got hit. And even if they had got hit, there was no malice in it. Keep the card in your pocket.
That is his first card he's issued this afternoon, though, Josh Smith, after keeping them firmly in his pocket for the first 45. Ethan Laird then booked. 0-0 on Talksport 2. We played a minute and a half of the second half here on your home of the EFL. I'll keep you in touch with goals going in elsewhere. There's been no further scores to the ones we brought you at half-time. QPR trying to attack, but Birmingham win the ball back. It's only half cleared by Sanderson. Now Field has it back inside left channel for QPR. Out further to his left is Parle. He'll find Parle now, who keeps it away from the challenge of Laird. Sent into the box by Cher. Frey with a header, and it drifts over the bar. Ruddy was watching it all the way, and that's a goal kick once again to Birmingham City, 0-0.
That's the only problem with playing somebody like Cher on this left-hand side, who's a right footer. He wants to cut in on his right foot, and when he bends a ball into the box for Frey to actually attack, it's always the wrong way round, if you know what I mean. It's not coming into you, so when a ball's coming into you, you can actually then just direct it because the power's already on it. But when somebody's actually whipping a ball in the wrong way, it means you've got to get the direction right and you've got to generate the power. It's not hard to do.
Let's face it, though, he's not the exception, is he? There's inverted wingers everywhere you look in football these days.
And look, you can score from it, but it is more difficult.
Our Talksport colleague Hugh Wozencroft is very kindly holding up the attendance. 17,170 here today. Don't forget, Hugh brings you our EFL All Access show every week, keeping you in touch with everything that's going on in the Championship, League 1 and League 2. You can download that as a podcast as well from the Talksport app. All the details are on there for EFL All Access. There's also the EFL Fan Network show, which I recommend Thursdays at tea time at 5 p.m, which talks to podcasters from various clubs around the EFL. Always worth a listen. Birmingham City in possession at 0-0. Ball ricochets into the path of Juninho Bacuna. Drama's on his bike down the left-hand side, but Roberts is the intended recipient of the pass, and he tries to lay it off to Drama. Drama steps inside his man. Bacuna goes for goal. Headed clear by Steve Cook. Just stands on the 6-yard line, and the ball whacks against his head. And out of play for a Birmingham throw. And just for a short time, there's an offside flag gone up against a Birmingham player, but Birmingham had space to operate in inside the QPR box, but didn't make the most of it, Alvin Martin.
Plenty of players in there as well, Dancer. It was like there were 4 Birmingham players all waiting for an invitation to have the shot. It was Roberts who made something of it, and when the ball came to 1, 2, 3, Bacuna was the one who had the shot in. It was a good block in the end, but they did have people in the right vicinity again to score goals there.
Peterborough United 0, Carlisle United 2. Doomed to relegation, it seems, Carlisle, though not mathematically quite yet, but John Mellish has scored a second to really upset the posh in front of their own supporters. Now an offside flag up against a QPR player gives Birmingham a free kick that Buchanan rolls back to Ruddy. Ruddy gives it back to the former Derby man, but it's back with John Ruddy once again. 37 years young, John Ruddy. Ball's given away by Iwu. Now Anderson, centre of the Birmingham half, options left and right, tries to slide in chair, but he's shown too much of that to Emmanuel Iwu, and Birmingham get it clear after giving the ball away inside their own defensive third. Iwu again, right-hand corner of his own penalty area, hits the ball against Sam Field, who charged it down well, but that's a goal kick to Birmingham City, 0-0, and the nerves are still prevalent out there, Alvin Martin.
Well, certainly as a Birmingham City supporter, I'd be nervous if Iwu gets the ball at the back. He sometimes, as a right side centre half, wants a little bit more time than he's going to be afforded, and he's certainly somebody who's got to quicken up on the ball. But it's been a bright start, hasn't it, to the second half for Birmingham, and a nervy start for QPR.
Don't forget, we've got all the Easter Monday football for you live as well across the Talksport network, including 4 live commentaries from the Championship, 2 on Talksport 2 and then 2 on Talksport, and then EFL All Access will be live on Tuesday at 1 p.m. on Talksport 2 to reflect on all of the Easter weekend action. And of course, you can download that as a podcast from your favourite pod provider or via the Talksport app. Foul on Sam Field gives QPR a free kick. And is that another yellow card?
Yeah, another yellow card. So we're going to end up with about 5 or 6 here. Could have end up with a sending off as well. And it hasn't been that sort of game at all.
Tyler Roberts is the man booked. Well, I mentioned before that Josh Smith has issued 120 yellows and 7 reds
in his 30
games.
It don't surprise me, because he's been itching to get them out. He's had 2 out now.
Free kick to be taken by Lucas Anderson about 10 yards inside the Birmingham City half of the field, to the right of the centre circle. And again, Birmingham holding their line at the 18-yard line. It's drilled in by Anderson, headed down and driven goalwards at a deflection over the bar. Well, it was Sam Field who drove it goalwards, and it came off the backside of a Birmingham player. John Ruddy was wrong-footed, goes over the bar for a QPR corner kick at the loft end, 0-0.
Well, Ruddy watched it all the way, and that's all he could do. That's all he was never going to get anywhere near. It was about a foot over the right-hand side, that right corner. So a massive piece of luck for Birmingham there.
Now the noise goes up from the QPR fans, who, as Alvin has been saying, they've been a bit nervous this afternoon, a bit quiet, relatively speaking, but a bit of belief at the loft enders. Lucas Anderson spots the ball down for the corner kick where the loft end meets the stand bowl stand. It'll be a right-footed delivery from the Dane. He's going to drill it across the face of goal. Indeed he does, deep to the far post. Up goes Ruddy and claims it comfortably under minimal pressure, 0-0.
Dreadful from Anderson. You've got what, 6'6" goalkeeper, and he just puts it into the 6-yard box as high as you want for Ruddy to come and claim.
Now it's bowled out overarm for Jay Stansfield to get down the Birmingham City right-hand side, taking on Parle, holds the ball up for a moment, gets towards the corner flag. Now he's also got extra attention around him in Clark Salter. Bakuna, lovely little drop of the shoulder, left-hand side of the area, gets a shot away, but that's straight at Begovic, who makes a very comfortable save. 0-0.
He's got something about Bakuna. He has little moments you think you're not quite sure what he's going to do, and that was a lovely little backflip. He made himself half a yard. His finish hasn't been great. That's the problem. He's done a great skill to get himself into a shooting position, and the shot let him down.
Well, over 100 appearances for Juninho Bakuna since he came from Rangers to Birmingham City in 2022. 6 goals and 6 assists in the league this year for the man from Curacao. Now out to the right-hand side, a chase for Chris Willock, but it's overhit and it'll go out of play. There are goals going in elsewhere. Shrewsbury 0, Oxford United 1. That's a big goal for Oxford, who were just a point clear of Stevenage at the start of play. They're occupying the final playoff spot at the moment in League One. Billy Bowden with a goal for Oxford, and Morecambe, who are only 5 points off 7th and the final playoff spot in League Two. They lead at Accrington Stanley through Nelson Kambeni. Accrington 0, Morecambe 1, and Stockport have a third at Forest Green. Connor Lemonhay Evans makes it Forest Green 0, Stockport 3. And remember, Wrexham 1-0 up against Mansfield, so it could be all changed at the top of League Two later today. Salford equalised against Sutton 1-1. There's a Birmingham player down injured. It's Lee Buchanan. Again, it's a head injury. And again, the referee says he needs treatment, and that annoys the home fans as it slows play down.
Is it a head injury? Is it? I'm not so sure it is. I don't know.
Well,
I don't think there's anything wrong with the player.
He's back on his feet. There's going to be no need for any treatment, so we will play on.
QPR were in a position where they could have done some damage there. Again, it's about using your common sense as a referee.
And that's going to be an uncontested drop ball. Remember, there's no such thing as a contested drop ball anymore in the game. Law's changed. So it's just rolled back to Steve Cook, and you can hear what the locals think of that as QPR have to try and build again from inside their own half. 10 minutes gone in the second half. 0-0 on Talksport 2. Foul on Stansfield as Birmingham were also coming away with the ball. Bakuna was running through.
He's got another card out, and this is going to be a 7-card game, believe it or not. We haven't seen a bad tackle throughout the entirety of it. It is going to be 7 cards.
Is it Chris Willock that's gone into the referee's notebook for that challenge on Jay Stansfield? Big goal for Port Vale. They're 2-0 up on Bristol Rovers. Bailey DePepper with the second goal for Port Vale. They got their first win of 2024 last time out. Back-to-back wins at this point for Darren Moore, and Port Vale would be manna from heaven in that battle to stay afloat in League One. Crawley 0, Doncaster 1 down in League Two. Crawley in the final playoff spot, but losing at home to Doncaster, who on the back of 3 straight wins. Hakeeb Adelakan gets the goal for Donny, and only now is play about to restart. In fact, Chris Willock's still down, getting treatment. Still needs
I see there, Dan. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's 2 players fighting for the ball, not a malice in any of the challenges, and the referee getting a card out. I can't really see any reason for that to happen.
Well, a card was issued. It's 0-0 here. We're heading towards.
It should be an issue too, do you know?
No,
because I didn't see anyone do anything.
It's Willock, I think, isn't it? That's got the. It's not Willock. No, it's not Willock. It's Hayden, Isaac Hayden, who's got the yellow card for that challenge in midfield. We're heading towards April, back end of March here as we are in the Easter weekend, but in April we've got over 50, count them, 50, pushing for 60 live football commentaries across our network. The 3-way scrap for the Premier League title will continue, and Europe places and relegation spots to be secured. The title race and the relegation fight in this daft EFL Championship will have commentaries from that. 5 Premier League sides in European competition, Champions League, Europa League and the Conference League. The WSL title race in Emma Hayes' final season as Chelsea manager. You'll get the final day of League One and League Two in April as well on the Talksport network, with loads of issues to be decided. Just keep it on the Talksport network and you are completely covered for the very best live football through to a dramatic end of the season. Once we get to the end of the season, every playoff match live across the Talksport network, including the 3 Wembley finals. Wigan 1, Burton 1. Burton equalised at the DW through John Brayford. Old Stager getting the goal there for the Brewers. There is a change being readied down beneath us by Queen's Park Rangers, and I think Sinclair Armstrong's beginning of his opportunity. We just talked about him earlier, the young 20-year-old. But meantime, Hayden's back on his feet, and eventually Birmingham City will have this free kick on the just inside the QPR half of the field to the left of the centre circle. Bacuna and Buchanan standing over it. Bacuna runs over the ball. Buchanan fires it into the edge of the area, headed up and out by Sam Field. It'll drop in the centre of the QPR half. Little back flick from Bacuna. Got Stansfield in temporarily. Hurry clearance from QPR, but there's nobody forward in a blue and white hoop shirt, so Ruddy's got all the time in the world to collect the loose ball just outside his area. Fans whistling for Hayden to be allowed back on. And he is now back on, but the ball's at the edge of the area. Birmingham have it forward with Pike Seung-ho. A complete air shot from him, but he's still got possession. Works it in field to Junior Bacuna. Just chips it in field. Stansfield fires it wide on the turn. It went about a yard wide of the post. He had to snatch at the shot because the ball ran across his body really quickly, but he couldn't get it on target. Goal kick QPR 0-0.
Yeah, I still think he should do better here. I think you should look at it and think, yeah, this is a real good opportunity. Pike's got a lovely ball into Bacuna. Bacuna, a little reverse ball, and he had to take it quickly. Yeah, maybe he was put under pressure by a QPR defender. But again, if he just got it away a little bit quicker, could he have hit the target?
And that's a double change for QPR because Isaac Hayden, having had treatment just a few moments ago for that challenge where he fouled Stansfield, is being taken off, and Jack Colback is coming on to replace him, formerly of Newcastle and Nottingham Forest. And Sinclair Armstrong is indeed on a straight swap for Michael Frey up front. So a chance to see what the young 20-year-old can do. Scored his first senior goals for QPR this season. And he scored some great goals early on in his QPR career. What can he do against this Birmingham back line? Get a load of this. Peterborough 0, Carlisle 3. A John Mellish hat-trick. Somebody check out Adrian Durham over on Talksport as he takes you around the grounds. He won't be enjoying that at all. MK Dons 2, Walsall 0 in League 2 as well. Max Dean with a penalty for MK. Now here come QPR down the right-hand side at 0-0. We've played an hour on Talksport 2. Willock, being supported by Anderson, drives for the byline. Pulls the cross right across the face of goal. Headed up in the air by Laird. Further back into his own area. Chair on the half volley. Couldn't keep it down, and he's hacked it horribly wide for a goal kick to Birmingham City. 0-0 the score.
Well, unfortunately for us as spectators, I think the attackers have left their shooting boots at home, and that's a prime example of it there. You know, look, it's not easy. It's coming out high. He's, 16 yards out? Got to catch it on the half volley, but he's got to do better than that. As difficult as that is, you've got to be able to at least get your foot over the ball and hit the target.
It's unusual to see Jack Colback playing as a midfield player. I got so used to seeing him playing as a wing back in that Nottingham Forest team when he was doing so well for Forest just a couple of seasons ago, but he's back in what is probably more his natural habitat from what we know. 0-0. Bacuna coming forward for Birmingham, out to the right wing for Ethan Laird, level with the edge of the area, faced up by Parle, drives in field, across the edge of the goal. Bacuna scores! Vital goal for Birmingham City, scored by Juninho Bacuna. Laird rolled in field to Juninho Bacuna just inside the 18-yard line. He took a touch to set himself, picked his spot and found the top corner. Birmingham fans elated away in that school end, and Birmingham might be pulling clear of trouble by a couple of points or so, and QPR conversely dropping into big trouble. QPR 0, Birmingham 1.
Well, it's the finish that the game needed, to be fair. Bacuna's supplied it, and he strokes it nonchalantly into the top right-hand corner. He sees it all the way, doesn't he, Begovic, but he can't do anything about it. You've got to question QPR's defending. They didn't get tight enough, quick enough, but it's an exquisite finish with the inside of his right boot.
7th goal of the season for Juninho Bacuna, and the Rowett revolution starts with a goal. Will it start with a victory? They have their noses in front at Loftus Road here on Talksport 2 with less than half an hour to play. And now QPR must respond. It's Colback, back to Clark Salter. Square ball for Steve Cook, who took an awkward first touch, giving it away. Tyler Roberts charging down the left-hand side of the area, pulls it across the face of goal, and it was a vital toe-in from Sam Field to get it out to the right-hand side, but then Anderson loses out to Stansfield, who gets pushed in the back, and Birmingham have won themselves a throw down that left-hand side. And now it's the Birmingham fans we can hear in the school end singing "Keep Right On" till the end of the road. And Birmingham have the lead here. Bielik out to the left-hand side, and Drammer gives it back to Christian Bielik. Chipping the ball up to the right-hand corner of the box. Ethan Laird brings it down, but just couldn't get past Clark Salter. Chair back defending for Queen's Park Rangers to try and get it clear to this near touchline. He's won a throw off Pike Seung-ho, throws it up to Armstrong on halfway, who's wrestling with Sanderson and wins a free kick. And now the QPR fans want the referee Josh Smith to issue another yellow, which he doesn't do.
Why?
For Dion Sanderson. So he should have issued a yellow for that one, Alvin.
Well, I can understand why he would give one for that, but why hasn't he? You know, because he's given, 2 or 3 for far less serious offences. Crazy.
Free kick taken quickly. Chair for QPR, midway point of the Birmingham half. He's now caught by Laird, who's got to be careful. He's one of those on a yellow card at the moment. Chair stays down, but it will be a free kick to QPR, midway point of the Birmingham half of the field. So QPR 0, Birmingham 1. AFC Wimbledon equalise against Harrogate in League 2. That's 1-1 at Plough Lane. Ronan Curtis. MK Dons 3, Walsall 0. Alex Gilby for MK. And Peterborough get a goal back against Carlisle. Peterborough 1, Carlisle 3, Joel Randall. Peterborough 1, Carlisle 3, I should say. And Reading have just taken the lead against Northampton. Free kick from QPR into the area, chested down in front of goal, fired goalwards by Cook. He's equalised at the second attempt. The ball came back to Steve Cook inside the area. The first shot was blocked, but the second shot arrowed into the bottom corner, and QPR were only behind for 3 minutes. It's QPR 1, Birmingham 1 in this basement battle.
I don't know if it took a deflection, but certainly he just swung his centre-half's right foot at this, and you hit and hope. The first one came back to him, the second one he hit, and it went into that bottom left-hand corner. It looked like he was either unsighted, Ruddy, or it took a deflection. Whatever the case, 1-1, game on.
Well, Steve Cook knows what it takes to win promotion challenges in his days at Bournemouth. Here he is in a relegation fight, and he's his first goal for QPR. What a time to get it.
I've just seen a replay. It was a deflection. It certainly come off a Birmingham player.
Well, he'll
put it
claim
in the bottom corner. But now, credit to him. 2 good strikes he's there. And do you know what? The game needed a goal. It needed. Now it's got 2. Hopefully it'll fire up. It's been a little quiet here.
Birmingham want to take a quick throw, but there's a bit of pushing and shoving going on this near touchline. So 1-1 the score. Reading lead Northampton through Kelvin Batcherman. And the ball's out to Lee Buchanan. Further out to the Birmingham left, and Drammer infield for Tyler Roberts. And he drifts away from Jimmy Dunn down the left-hand side. Field now showing him inside. Roberts will come in field for Birmingham City from that far left-hand touchline. Up to Pike Seung-ho at the edge of the area. Holds it up well. Finds Juninho Bakuna, but he can't get past the 2 or 3 challenges in front of him. And it's fired downfield, but Birmingham win it back through Iwu. Now Laird tucks it in field for Bielik. Now Bakuna down the right wing. Early cross. Stansfield brings the ball under control. Tries the shot. Deflected wide by Clark Salter for a Birmingham corner at the school end. 1-1.
Just an edge, a bit more of an edge. It was, I don't know, I was expecting it to be like this throughout the game, really, Dance, but it's been a little, I don't know, just something that's just been simmering rather than firing up, and now it looks like it's about to inflame, innit?
Well, it will be Pike Seung-ho to take this corner kick. I can't quite see him down to my right where the school end meets the Batia stand that we're sat in. Right-footed outswinger from the Korean. And again, there's a bit of pushing and shoving. Sanderson and Clark Salter are the men being called over by Josh Smith for a quiet word. And it will be eventually the corner taken. Salford 1, Sutton 2. Second bottom Sutton now back in front of the Peninsula. Here's the corner from Birmingham City. Swung into the far post. Up goes Laird. And it's deflected and goes behind for a corner kick. It came off a Birmingham player last of all. 1-1 the score. A quarter of the game to go on Talksport 2. This is anybody's, Alvin Martin.
It is anybody's. I think obviously Gary Rowett and Birmingham, I think, would be more than happy coming here and taking a point in his first game back at Birmingham. But it'll be QPR will be desperate to secure all three. No doubt about that.
Bradford 1, Tranmere 0 in League 2. Bradford still with half an eye on the playoffs if they can get there, but 4 straight defeats before today. Callum Cavan has given them the lead against Tranmere. Oliver Sanderson's the player that has scored for Sutton to put them 2-1 off at Salford. Meanwhile, Wrexham have doubled their lead against Mansfield. 2-0 they lead. Paul Mullin with his second of the afternoon for the Dragons. And Norwich have equalised against Plymouth in the Championship. Josh Sargent has made it 1-1 at Carrow Road. And that's a goal that means a lot at both ends of the table for playoffs and for relegation threatened sides. 1-1 here too between QPR and Birmingham. As forward come the visitors with Ethan Laird. Right hand corner of the QPR box. Parle watching his every move. Laird goes on the outside of him, checks back onto his left, plays the ball into the near post, but it's a comfortable claim by Asmir Begovic, who wants to bowl it out and restart play quickly, but he doesn't have an option, Alvin Martin.
No,
1-1.
Right. There's not enough moving up ahead of him there, but again, down this right hand side, he's getting a lot of space, Laird, isn't he? And that ball was whipped across. He was inches away from getting on the end of it there, Roberts. Tell you what, it'd be a brave man to forecast which way this is going to go, because like you say, both sides look capable of getting a winner.
And we've got just over 20 minutes to go here. Don't forget, we'll be off to Ewood Park for full live commentary of Blackburn against Ipswich. Ipswich can go top tonight, remember, if they get the win at Ewood Park later. And Cameron Pope will bring us the team news in the next few minutes here on Talksport 2 ahead of that 5:30 kickoff. And then Jim Proudfoot and Chris Iwelumo will be at the Vic. Our 8 o'clock kickoff, Leeds United, another team bidding for top spot. They will be at Watford, who themselves haven't won at the Vic in 6. Now there's a Birmingham player down holding his head, Cody Drammer, on the far side of the field. Stoke, big goal for them at Hull City. They lead 1-0 to Stoke through Josh Laurent at the MKM. I'll be at the Bet365 Stadium on Easter Monday for Talksport 2 for their home tie against Huddersfield that promises to be a very tense afternoon. Huddersfield currently trailing Coventry at home. Coventry 2 goals to the good. But Stoke leading at Hull. And Hull, 7 unbeaten, 4 straight draws, just outside the playoffs. That's a big blow to Liam Rossinia's prospects of getting into those playoff places. Bradford 2, Tranmere 0. Quick second for Tranmere. And Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 3. Christian Sadie gets a third for the League One leaders Portsmouth at Adams Park. Now a QPR player's gone down, and it'll be a free kick to the home side on halfway. It was Jimmy Dunn, it was Sam Field rather, that was brought down. So a free kick with the score at 1-1, and it is up for grabs most definitely in this game between the teams that started the afternoon 20th and 21st in the division. It's going to be Anderson with the free kick. Just over the halfway line. Sends it up to the edge of the area. Up go the heads. Sanderson gets the first head to it. Drops for Ilias Chair down this left-hand side for Queen's Park Rangers. Up against Juninho Bacuna. Lays it off to Colback. Lovely ball. Deep to the far post. Headed back across the face of goal. And volleyed over by Willett. 8 yards out. Massive chance. Unmarked as the ball dropped for Chris Willock. But he couldn't keep it down and fired it wastefully over. Goal kick to Birmingham City. 1-1.
That's a bad miss. Bad miss. He's on his right foot volley. Not under any pressure. All he's got to do is hit the target. He catches it with his right foot on the volley. Way over the bar. But that's got to be a goal.
Well, Tyler Roberts, who had a loan spell at QPR from Leeds last season, he's getting booed off as he's substituted, and on to replace him comes the Japanese midfielder Koji Miyoshi, who came in from Royal Antwerp in the summer, 5 goals and 5 assists for Miyoshi, diminutive attacking midfielder. Goal kick sent downfield from Ruddy. Strong header back into the Birmingham half from Clark Salter, but that will bounce 3 or 4 times and back through for John Ruddy. So as things stand, Birmingham will be in the bottom 3 at tea time tonight, with Sheffield Wednesday currently in front against Swansea at Hillsborough. QPR will be just above Sheffield Wednesday on goal difference. Sheffield Wednesday have a goal difference of -30. QPR's is -14. Now Pike, he's caught by Colback on halfway, and that's a yellow card for the substitute of Queen's Park Rangers. And with the ball on halfway, Birmingham have taken the free kick too quickly. Let's get the team news from our next commentary game, our third of 4 live games from the Championship today. Blackburn-Ipswich is at 5:30. Cameron Pope's got the teams.
Thanks, Dan. A massive opportunity for Ipswich, just a point behind Leeds and Leicester. Rovers, as it stands, 2 points above the drop. Blackburn bring in Tyrese Dolan for the injured Arne Sigurdsson as one of 3 changes. Frontman Sam Gallagher misses out through illness. For Ipswich, Connor Chaplin returns up top, with Wes Burns likely out for the season. George Edmondson in at the back for Cam Burgess. Blackburn versus Ipswich, full commentary from 5:30.
And Cameron will be alongside Mickey Gray to bring you full commentary of that game. And then Watford Leeds at 8 for your fill of Championship commentaries right the way through till 10 p.m. here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Swindon 2, Notts County 0 in League 2. Paul Glatzel. It's 1-1 here at Loftus Road between QPR and Birmingham. Stansfield trying to get away down the right-hand side for Birmingham, but Powell got himself between man and ball and then guided the ball back to goalkeeper Begovic. Now Willock, who's just had that terrific chance to put QPR in front, but firing over from inside the box, works it back to Steve Cook, who got the equaliser, fires it up to the halfway line, but Buchanan's there for Birmingham. In steps Bielik to win it back for the visitors. Now Bakuna fires it down the left-hand side of the area, picked up by Stansfield. Bakuna's in the box. Miyoshi wants it as well. It's pulled across, looking for Miyoshi by Stansfield, but a first-time clearance from Clark Salter gets it out of harm's way. Sanderson hooks the ball up into the air under pressure from Armstrong. Clark Salter heads clear and out of play for a throw on this near side for Birmingham, but they can't take the throw because Chris Willock is being taken off to allow Paul Smith to come onto the field for Queen's Park Rangers, who rejoined the club in June from Leyton Orient. He was on the books for 4 years at the back end of the 2010s. Scored 3 league goals this season. And I remember Ian Holloway telling me how much he loved him when he was manager of Queen's Park Rangers, the Northern Irishman. So he's on. Willock is off. And now Birmingham City can take this throw. Swansea equalise at Sheffield Wednesday. That's a massive goal. Jamal Lowe for the Swans as Laird comes forward for Birmingham. Fires the ball into the area. It's with his back to goal. Juninho Bakuna trying to set up a teammate. He couldn't squeeze the ball out from under his feet to find a teammate. And away come QPR on the counter-attack. On the right-hand side, it's Smith who wins a throw off Cody Drammer. Takes the throw in quickly, and Lucas Anderson gives it back to Smith. Infield it goes to Armstrong. Good strength from the young striker, and works it back into his own half. Just wouldn't sit down for Juninho Bakuna inside the box there, Alvin Martin.
To be fair, there were just too many QPR defenders around him, but both teams are looking likely to snatch a goal here. This is the closest we've seen to both teams looking like scoring.
There's a winner here for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're into the last 14 minutes on Talksport 2. Norwich have turned it around against Plymouth. 2-1 they lead. Now across from QPR into the area, comfortably half volleyed clear by Sanderson. Back at the edge of the area, headed away, and Drammer will bring it down, but he's lost out to Smith. Now Jimmy Dunn, level with the edge of the area, right-hand side for QPR. Smith again, looks to drop his shoulder and get away from Drammer. He's got support from Anderson. Down that far right-hand side, hits the ball against Buchanan and wins a throw for Queen's Park Rangers. Ashley Phillips with an own goal has put Norwich in front against Plymouth Argyle. Jamal Lowe with the equaliser for Swansea at Sheffield Wednesday. And that again will change things at the bottom of the table. Sheffield Wednesday will drop back into the bottom 3 with Huddersfield and Rotherham. Here's a long throw into the area, flicked on at the near post for QPR, and there was a push on a Birmingham player, and that will give a free kick to Birmingham City inside their own penalty area. So as it stands, Rotherham 20, then Sheffield Wednesday 39, Huddersfield 39, Birmingham 40, QPR 41, Plymouth 41, Blackburn, who haven't played yet, who play at 5:30 live on Talksport 2, 42, Stoke 44, Millwall 44. But that'll change again.
Yeah.
Colchester 1, Newport 1. Colchester in trouble towards the foot of League 2, equalised through Ellis Yandolo, and Fleetwood have equalised in that critical game towards the bottom of League 2. It's 1-1 against Cheltenham. Ryan Graydon for the Cod Army has got them level. As I mentioned earlier, every time a goal goes in, something changes in the EFL tables. Birmingham coming forward with Miyoshi down this near side, the right. Looked to flick it in field for Jay Stansfield, but it went out of play for a throw instead. 12 minutes to go. 1-1.
I think people are going to stay safe in the championship. They're the teams who are going to look for a win instead of actually settling for draws, which might not be enough. Dance. It's all about being positive, innit? Adventurous and looking for the 3 points. And I've got to give credit to Birmingham. That's what they're doing here.
Bielik driving forward for Birmingham to the edge of the area. Turn around the corner by Stansfield, looking for Miyoshi, but it was cleared away by Kenneth Powell for QPR. But Birmingham get the ball back on the halfway line through Lee Buchanan. Clips it down the left-hand side, looking for Stansfield, but hooked away comfortably by Steve Cook. Poor header up in the air by Pike Sung-ho allows Armstrong to feed it into Ilias Chair. Rides the challenge of Laird. Now has it on halfway. Chair has to roll it back 10 yards or so to Parl, and then Chair turns around and gives Sinclair Armstrong a volley for not giving him an option to pass it to when he had possession inside his own half. Now it's hooked downfield by Drammer, looking for Bakuna. Steve Cook gets his head there. Very neat chest down though on halfway by Cody Drammer. Lobs it infield to Bakuna. Tries to let the ball run across his body, but Colback steps in front of him and guides the ball back to his keeper Begovic. Left-footed clearance up to halfway, straight onto the head of Emmanuel Iwu. Where's that going to drop? Onto the head of Clark Salter. Great strong header up to halfway for QPR, and Sinclair Armstrong has it. Smith calling for it out on the far right-hand side. Gets it now. Midway point of the Birmingham half. Hits it against Drammer and wins a throw-in. 10 minutes to go on Talksport 2. QPR 1. Birmingham City 1. There's a winner in it for either of these two relegation-threatened sides. It's QPR coming forward at the moment with Paul Smith up to the edge of the area. Shot's weak, but it rolls for Ilias Chair. Darts down the right-hand side of the box. Tries to clip in the cross, and it's put behind for QPR's fifth corner of the game. 1-1.
I think this is certainly a stage of the game you'd expect QPR to take full advantage of the crowd, and you can see the response there just to get in the corner. It will lift the crowd, but they've got to somehow apply pressure for a sustained period now.
That's the thoughts of Alvin Martin, former West Ham and England legend, alongside Ian Danter on commentary. So the corner is QPR's at the loft end, right hand side where it meets the stand bowl stand. Lucas Anderson once again to take it. Clips it into around the penalty spot. Up go the heads, everybody misses it, including Sanderson and Jimmy Dunn and Sam Field. It comes out to Colback, who rolls it in field for Chair. Across for Paul Smith, who's got plenty of room inside the Birmingham half. Rolls it out to Anderson, right wing. Good cross, just flicked away from danger by Sanderson rather. Out it goes for a throw-in to QPR. Left-hand side, still 1-1. 9 minutes to go. And Colback looks for an option from the throw. Parl came short, plays a 1-2 with Chair. Kenneth Parl inside the area, couldn't wriggle his way clear, and now it's sent downfield, and Jay Stansfield is running clear down the right-hand side. He's up against Clark Salter, takes it too far infield, and Clark Salter does really well to win it back for QPR.
Stansfield really showed inexperience there. He's got to cut across him earlier and make sure the Salter can't get back in. He didn't do that.
Instead, QPR coming forward again down the other end of the field at the left end. Anderson puts a ball in from the right-hand side. Armstrong is offside as he headed it wide, and it's a free kick to Birmingham City as Cheltenham go back in front at Fleetwood. Fleetwood were only level for a moment. That's 23rd against 22nd. Aidan Keener with a goal for Fleetwood Town, and Shrewsbury equalise against Oxford. Oxford, remember, starting the afternoon in the top six, but it's 1-1 at the Greenhouse Meadow. Jack Price and MK Dons walloping Walsall. 5-0 to MK now. Max Dean with the fifth. Walsall have designs on the playoffs, let's not forget. 1-1 at Loftus Road, and an offside flag goes up against Jay Stansfield, and a free kick for QPR. And just a lull for a moment here at Loftus Road as everybody catches their breath before these last few minutes. Huddersfield have got a goal back against Coventry. That's Huddersfield 1, Coventry 2. Reece Healy. As forward come Queen's Park Rangers. Right-hand side. It's Lucas Anderson. The run ahead of him from Paul Smith, faced up by Bielik, gets to the byline, good cross in, headed away by Iwu under real pressure, but Colback picks up the loose ball for QPR. Down the left-hand side of the box, Ilias Chair onto his right, clips the ball to the far post, headed away by Bielik this time. Another header steps in, half volley cleared by Sanderson, up to halfway for Birmingham, but nobody there in a black Birmingham shirt. Jordan James is coming on for Birmingham City, and so is Scott Hogan. And it is Jay Stansfield, who looked a little leggy when he made that run forward in behind. He's coming off, and Scott Hogan is coming on to replace him. And it's Juninho Bacuna, who scored Birmingham's goal, who looks like he's moving a little awkwardly, who's the other player coming off. And Jordan James, who played the full 120 minutes for Wales as they failed to make the Euros in midweek against Poland in Cardiff. He's coming on as well, and Bacuna not looking in the best of fitness as he limps off to this near side. But James and Hogan on, Alvin Martin, for Birmingham.
Yeah, I just wondered if he'd have had Hogan on a little earlier, would he have had the experience to maybe cut across Salter there, and get himself in on one-on-one with the QPR goalkeeper Begovic, because that's what needed to be done. There's been a few chances in this game. I'm surprised we've only seen 2 goals.
Hasn't scored since August, Scott Hogan. He's not been a fan's favourite for the most of this season, but he's on, and so is James for these last 6 minutes of normal time plus whatever the referee wants to add on. Free kick for a foul on Buchanan by Armstrong. Barrow 3, Grimsby 0 in League 2. Robbie Gotts for Barrow, who are going to go 6 unbeaten. Ruddy's going to take this free kick, taking their time over it a little bit, Birmingham City, but I don't think they've quite given up on the idea that they can steal all 3 points here, Alvin Martin.
Yeah, I think there will come a stage where I think Birmingham are the ones that maybe will hold on to what they've got, Dance.
Flick on by Laird, trying to get Hogan away inside the area, and Sam Field back defending, helping out his teammates. Knew he had to clear it out for a throw with Hogan breathing down his neck. It's gone out of play for a Birmingham throw, right hand side, 10 yards from the corner flag, just down beneath us. Iwu rolls it in field for Bielik, gives it back to Iwu. Buchanan calling for it at the edge of the centre circle, has it now for Birmingham. Drammer in a bit of space out on the left hand side, faced up by Smith, gives it back to Lee Buchanan. Takes 2 or 3 touches to try and get the ball under control, then he's fouled by Anderson, and Birmingham have a free kick midway point of the QPR half of the field, and a chance to load the box here with 1 or 2. 1-1 the score.
Yeah, again, look, I'm looking at Drammer there, playing that ball back. Sometimes a player just passes the ball, passes the responsibility of the ball to somebody else, and that's what he did there. He was fortunate to get a foul.
Taken quickly by Park Seung-ho to the left-hand corner of the box. Plays a 1-2 with Bielik. Can he get the cross in? It took a deflection, did it? Well, they want a corner, but it's a goal kick that's been given by referee Josh Smith. And 4 minutes are now left on the watch as QPR make another change. And Kenneth Powell is coming off to be replaced by Ziad Larkesh, the left back who joined from Fulham on a 3-year deal. Had a loan spell at Barnsley last season, and that's a straight swap like Powell off Larkesh on. Exeter equalise against Charlton. That's now, Charlton equalise against Exeter, I should say. Cheick Diabate making it 1-1 at St James Park. Here at Loftus Road, just over 3 minutes of normal time to go. Still 1-1 between QPR and Birmingham City in this basement battle, and a point for either side that ultimately will keep them both out of the bottom 3, with Sheffield Wednesday drawing and Huddersfield and Rotherham both losing. But 1 goal could change everything for both sides here. Flick on from Sinclair Armstrong from the goal kick, goes straight through to John Ruddy, and Ruddy will now pick the ball up just as Sinclair Armstrong got within 2 or 3 paces of him, and then bowls it out underarm to Lee Buchanan. Strokes it out to Drammer inside his own half, left hand side, up to Jordan James on halfway, tucks it in field for Pike, and Pike drives it a bit strongly, too strongly for Iwu. That gives QPR a throw that they'll want to take quickly and take advantage of the fact that Birmingham have got players downfield, but they're getting black shirts back into position. QPR have it down the left-hand side with Larkesh, his first involvement in the game, but he runs into Paik Seung-ho, and then a toe in from Larkesh puts it behind for a goal kick. Accrington 1, Morecambe 2. Morecambe are in front through Lewis Shipley, and Middlesbrough equalise at Southampton through Emmanuel Latte-Lat. That's 1-1 at St Mary's. Remember, Southampton have games in hand, but they started the afternoon 9 points off the automatic spots, and Middlesbrough have got themselves level at St Mary's late on there. It's a big goal. Ruddy with the goal kick for Birmingham. 90 seconds of normal time to play on Talksport 2. Don't forget, we're straight off to Ewood Park at the end of this game to bring you Blackburn against Ipswich Town. Ipswich could go top for a time tonight if they get the 3 points at Ewood Park. Can anybody get the 3 points here at Loftus Road? It's 1-1. QPR coming forward down the right-hand side with Paul Smith, but he runs into Cody Drammer, brought away by Jordan James. Good sliding challenge, though, from Sam Field to stop James getting any further downfield, and it's a throw to the Vistas on that left-hand side. 1-1.
You'd say at the moment 1-1 is a fair reflection of the game, and a fair, it would have been a fair share of the points as well. I think Birmingham have done enough, certainly, not to go away from here empty-handed. And likewise with QPR. Drops in the halfway line for Koji Miyoshi, who can dart forward for Birmingham City. He's got Laird to his right. Hogan making a run into the area. Miyoshi still has it. Gets towards the edge of the D. Lays it off to Paik Seung-ho, who thought about a drive at goal. Wriggles through a couple of challenges. Goes down. Free kick to Birmingham City at the edge of the D as we enter the 90th minute. 1-1. Now this is in a lovely position. Anyone who's got the ability to take free kicks in any team, certainly a championship standard, would say, right, place the ball down anywhere that you could. It would be right here, just left of centre, just outside the arc, and that lets you do left foot, right foot. It opens itself up to all alternatives.
Well, it's the two players from the Far East that are looking at it. Paik Seung-ho, the South Korean, and Koji Miyoshi, the Japanese. As we move into 6 minutes of minimum stoppage time on Talksport 2. 1-1 the score, but Birmingham City have a free kick at the edge of the D. There's a 4-man QPR wall, pretty much level with the penalty spot.
Bielik's down now. Yeah,
Bielik's just got a bit of cramp, I think. So he might have to go off the field to get treatment, or maybe Birmingham will make another change. Marty Cifuentes not happy with something to do with the defending that QPR got lined up, and Gary Gardner's going to come on for Christian Bielik before this kick is taken. Lincoln lead against Leyton Orient by 1-0 through Javon Makama. Lincoln going to go 14 unbeaten. What a run Michael Scubala's side are on. Just outside the top 6 at the start of the afternoon. Brilliant run that the Imps have been on. Swindon 2, Notts County 1. Jatta gets a late goal back for Notts County. Free kick to Birmingham City. Outside the D. Paik Seung-ho or Koji Miyoshi will strike this free kick as the referee blows his whistle. It looks like it's going to be Paik Seung-ho straight through the wall and straight at the goalkeeper Begovic, who held it well in front of his goal line. 1-1.
Yeah, he has to hold on to that. It can't bounce off him. There's two players right on top of him, so good technique by the big goalkeeper.
All his experience brought to bear at Asmir Begovic. And now QPR coming down the other end. So we've played a minute of these 6 that have been added on. Oh, goal!
Oh, my word!
What a goal from Sam Field! What a left-footed effort to win it, surely, for QPR! And dump Birmingham City into the Championship relegation dogfight still further. The ball just dropped out of the sky at the edge of the area, and Sam Field just let his left foot fly at it, and it rocketed over John Ruddy and into the net. Just a long ball downfield from Asmir Begovic, a flick on, a poor-headed clearance, it dropped to the edge of the area, and what a finish from Jimmy Dunn to win it for QPR. 2-1. Jimmy's done it!
Where on earth did that come from, Dance? He won the header, the flick on it, comes back, he has one touch on his chest, the second one is weaker left foot, he catches it, sweet as a nut, and all he can do really, Ruddy, is just watch it fly into the top right hand corner. That is class, that is worthy of winning any game.
Jimmy Dunn's first goal of the season, and what a time to score it. In the 92nd minute, to come from behind and steal all 3 points right at the end and take QPR 4 points clear of trouble and keep Birmingham just above the dreaded dotted line. Stoke have got a second at Hull to win that game. Kiana Hoover makes it Hull 0, Stoke 2. So what an afternoon for Stoke and QPR. But Plymouth, Birmingham, Huddersfield and Rotherham all losing. Sheffield Wednesday only drawing at home to Swansea. So Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday and Huddersfield will remain the bottom three, and Birmingham will remain outside of that bottom three, only on goal difference.
Harsh on Birmingham, really harsh. I tell you what, you could give Dunn that another 20 times and he would not execute that finish as well as he did that one. That was incredible.
Jimmy Dunn, over 100 appearances into his third season, looks to have won it for Queen's Park Rangers on Talksport 2. It's rolled back to the edge of the area. Anderson goes for goal. Good save by John Roddy, plunging down to his right-hand side and turning it behind for a corner kick. But QPR are in the ascendancy and they'll want to keep the ball down the Loftus Road end of the pitch.
Yeah, and they've had chances this afternoon. You know, they haven't taken them. It's taken a right back really to show them how to finish. And didn't he finish? God.
So a corner kick at the loft end where it meets the Battier stand for Queen's Park Rangers. They've taken it short. Ilias Chair brings the ball back into the midway point of the half. Clipped forward by Clark Salter. Lovely touch from Anderson. Tries to backheel it into the path of a teammate. Birmingham sliding in with desperate challenges to try and get it clear. Colchester have won it against Newport. Late on through Jay Mingy. Colchester 2, Newport 1. And Coventry have a third at Huddersfield to seal it. Hadji Wright makes it Huddersfield 1, Coventry 3. We played 5 minutes of the minimum 6 that have been added on. And QPR have possession with Lucas Anderson down by the corner flag on this near side. Birmingham trying to win it back, but Sinclair Armstrong gets his body in front of the ball. Great protection of the ball from Queen's Park Rangers down by the corner flag. It's still in play somehow down there, and then eventually goes out of play for a QPR throw, and that, I think, may well be that. 2-1 QPR.
Well, the tension's got out of the ground now, isn't it? I think they've relaxed. They finally feel they've won this game, the QPR fans and the players.
Throw into QPR. Referee says get on with it. Thrown into Sinclair Armstrong. And he's lost out. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. We've played the 6 minutes of minimum stoppage time. It's now up to the referee. How much more to add on? Stoke have won at Hull. QPR get the ball out of their own half. Drammer chasing back with Chair. Gets the ball back to Sanderson. A foul against him, but the referee says play on. Desperate ball downfield from Sanderson for Birmingham. Drops for Ethan Laird. Laird lays it off to Gardner. Chips the ball into the box. Jordan James trying to get his head on it, but it's headed away by Jimmy Dunn. Anywhere will do from Paul Smith. Goes long downfield. Sinclair Armstrong won't keep it in play. It's out for a throw. And it's still 2-1 QPR in these last knockings here. How much time have we got left? Thrown back into play by Buchanan. Sends it long into the QPR half. Cook heads it clear, helped on by Cole back to halfway. Buchanan can't hold on to it. It's out of play for another QPR throw. Surely that's it. Surely now QPR have done enough to get all 3 points and pull just that little bit further clear of trouble. Throwing down the right-hand side for Jimmy Dunn. In it comes. Down the right-hand touchline. Hooked away by Buchanan, but only at the expense of another Queen's Park Rangers throw. 7.5 minutes of added time have been played. The referee will have added on a bit of time, I guess, for the celebrations following the Jimmy Dunn goal. But it will be a throw for the aforementioned Dunn. Down the right-hand side, looking for Armstrong. Brings it down brilliantly on his instep and holds possession up. Superbly done by the youngster. Clipped down the right-hand side of the box. Chair giving chase. Buchanan prevents a corner and clears it downfield. There's the full-time whistle. Queen's Park Rangers have pulled that little bit further clear of the drop zone, and Jimmy's done it this afternoon. Jimmy Dunn with an outrageous effort in stoppage time for his first goal of the season, firing the ball from 25 yards out over John Ruddy to see QPR come from behind and keep Birmingham just the right side of the dotted line in the Championship. Birmingham are outside the relegation zone, only on goal difference. They took the lead, Gary Rowett's side, through Juninho Bacuna. But within 3 minutes of that goal around the hour mark, QPR were level through Steve Cook firing home via a deflection at the second time of asking. And then, after Birmingham had a great chance to win it in added time, the ball broke for Jimmy Dunn 25 yards out, and he lashed it home with a quite stupendous goal to send the QPR fans home happy and push Marty Cifuentes' side up the table, 4 clear of the drop zone. Alvin, Martin.
Well, incredible game. You know, at times I think it was a nervous affair. There were chances created by QPR. They didn't stick him away. The forwards really didn't bring their shooting boots today. But I tell you what, it took them 2 defenders to get all 3 points. You know, first it was Cook, who was a bit fortunate in getting deflection. But, you know, the winner from Dunn. And I've got to say, it wasn't just the way he struck that and his goal. I think he personified what they need. He kept going. He was aggressive. Never give up. Chased every lost ball. He was the one that flicked the ball on from Begovic. It came back to him. He chested it down, hit with his left foot. I mean, that's his swinger, and it just flew in the top corner. And look at the scenes here now. I'm sure the QPR fans, maybe not the manager yet, but the QPR fans here think, yeah, we're going to be okay.
Well, QPR go to Swansea next on Easter Monday. You've been listening to QPR 2, Birmingham 1 in the EFL Championship on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. Birmingham players going to their supporters at the school end of the ground. Had the lead, but only had that lead, Alvin, for 3 minutes in that second half.
Yeah, look, Birmingham came here with a game plan and nearly executed it perfectly. You know, great goal from Bacuna, got them in the lead, but really, it was a quick goal that they got back QPR on. Because of that quick goal, I think it gave them the platform to then go on and win the game. We both said during the commentary, we felt that there was a winner here, and it was QPR who, from one individual moment of magic, have been able to secure all 3 points. But I think, you know, you look at what they did here, Birmingham, I think they can go into the remainder games, the last 7 games, and if they perform at that level in the next 7 games, they'll be okay.
Well, Birmingham City will be at home to Preston North End on Easter Monday. And then they're away at Leicester, home to Cardiff, home to Coventry, away at Rotherham, away at Huddersfield, Looms, second last game of the season, then home to Norwich, last day of the season. Whilst QPR, I mentioned they're at Swansea on Monday, then Sheffield Wednesday at home here is a huge game. Plymouth away, Hull away, Preston home, Leeds home, and they'll round off the season QPR at Coventry City.